Hello, I'm Stan Arthur, the admin and creator of the I Love St. Pete Facebook group, and I'm sure a few of you are seeing my face for the first time. I started I Love St. Pete back in 2009 with no plan whatsoever. After 6 years, we had just 5,000 members. And since that time, our membership has grown like wildfire. In 2020, I held my first fundraiser for a woman who needed a used car to drive 50 miles each day just to get to work and back. The response was overwhelming. At the time, we had about 50,000 members, but we did raise over $16,000 in just a few days. So in 2021, I created the I Love St. Pete Emergency Relief Fund, and through the help of a wonderful tax attorney, it became an official 501c3 charitable organization. I built a website and a PayPal portal where anyone could donate. Again, the response was incredible. Through the Emergency Relief Fund and with donations from my I Love St. Pete group members, since 2021, we have been able to stop evictions, feed hungry children, get water and power restored, and even buy diapers and formula for newborns. Most recently, my mission has changed to help people who have suffered through catastrophic losses, such as a house fire, floods, serious personal injury, and even life-saving surgery for a newborn. All of this has been made possible through the monthly donations, what I call pledges, coming from our I Love St. Pete group members. Now, I want you to imagine this. If just 10% of our group members gave just $5 each month, we could be doing incredible things. We could be renovating whole houses, buying vehicles, replacing a house full of items that were lost through a fire. In short, taking care of some of our I Love St. Pete group members who have suffered a catastrophic loss, who are facing a financial emergency that cannot be solved through the usual resources. That's why I do this. I'm the one who processes all the applications and gathers all the necessary evidence to verify their claims. Currently, I give out one gift each month to the person who I feel is most deserving. But times are tough. And over the last couple of years, donations have dwindled significantly while our group membership has grown and grown. For the price of a McDonald's meal deal, just $5 and some change, you will be helping to make a huge difference in someone's life. Please remember that in most cases, there are very small children involved. So go to helpstpete.org, click donate on the homepage, then enter an amount that you can easily afford. I suggest $5. Click on the box that will add a little bit more to cover the PayPal fee, then click the box that will make it a recurring monthly donation. You can donate through PayPal that way, or even with your own debit card. Every gift you make is tax deductible. You'll receive a receipt in your email from PayPal. No salaries are paid. I volunteer to do this. All of our charity business expenses are paid through the fees we collect from our advertising partners. But every penny that you donate goes to help someone right here in our own community. So take a minute, go to the website, and make it happen. You'll be doing your part to help me continue this great work. Thank you.
on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the evolution of Sports Talk Television. It's the Sports Web on a Victory Monday. I get it. It's preseason game, but I don't care. Anytime you get a victory, whether it's preseason exhibition, which is exactly what it is, you have to celebrate. We celebrate on this show with three things. You know them, you love them, you got to have them. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. On tonight's show, we will have Mr. Jason Powers of Spectrum Sports 360 coming on here, starting it off here in just a couple minutes. And then at 10 o'clock, we will have Mr. TJ Rives of the Buccaneer Radio Network talking about what else, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and their victory over the Cincinnati Bengals. What are your biggest takeaways? Definitely want to take calls tonight. If you weren't able to get through the other night, we will definitely get you a recap. And should the Bucs make a trade for Hassan Reddick? Throw that out there for you Bucs fans, seeing as, you know, Jason Light and this Tampa Bay Buccaneer organization is $22 million under the cap. Would you like to see them make a trade for him? Maybe Matt Judon from the New England Patriots? Or are you okay with what they have with the pass rushing specialists like a Yaya Diaby, who hasn't played? Of course, he's hurt. But are you okay with JTS, Marquise Watts, Jose Ramirez? Definitely want to hear from you. Also want to promote this right here because it's a new website, kind of new, kind of not. But being a part of Amped Up Sports, the sportsweb.live, go to that, check that out. All the content you want from the Sports Web, the evolution of sports talk television. And if you're not sure what this is, it's a cross between a TV and radio show without the station, with the interaction, with the engagement, with the phone calls. Talking about what else your Tampa Bay Buccaneers around the NFL. I like to talk about the Rays, but not so much tonight. 6-1. So if you want to talk Rays, you can. You can torture yourself if you want to. But we're going to predominantly talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in around the NFL. So without further ado, let me go out to these comments. Mr. KR himself. First evening, Peter and guys, go Bucs. What do you think about Wolford winning the backup job over Trask? Well, Todd Bowles had some comments. We'll get to those in a moment. I'll definitely ask Jason Powers in case you missed that interview we had the other night. We'll definitely go back through it because Todd Bowles had some interesting comments about that. What do you guys think, webheads? What do you guys think out there about the backup quarterback position? Is it set in stone for Kyle Trask, or is it still up for grabs? Todd Bowles, again, interesting comments. Let's go out to Christopher Cole. Hey, Pete, sorry I missed your post-game show. I was on a video chat. That's okay, my friend. Thanks a lot for tuning in, as always.
Oh, yeah!
Let's go out to Joe Sue, who's been very critical of my Bucs talk. But, Mr. Torres, I cannot talk about the Rays right now. Can you? I mean, 6-1, Taj Bradley getting blown up at this point. The Rays, their team blowing basically the whole team up with all the trades. I'll try to talk Rays if you want to, and you're more than welcome to call in and talk about something else. But predominantly tonight, my friend, it's going to be Bucs talk. I got to tell you. What's up, Peter? Anyway, we could talk about Jaron Duran. I don't know if you want to talk about that. I mean, what do you want to say? It's highly controversial. He got suspended for 2 games. If you have some thoughts on it, go ahead. I know that if you go to your job and say that stuff, you'd probably be suspended. So I don't know what the issue is. You can't do that. You can't say that. Good evening, Rolex reporter. Thank you. I enjoyed watching your preseason game. I thought Trask kind of looked like Brady. Already knew where he wanted to go, but he didn't look off defenders. We talked about that. When he gets into his first reads, he's great. But then when he has to scan the field and read a defense and get pressure in his face, it seems like he panics. Let's go out to Sit and go Bucs. Absolutely go Bucs.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Let's go out to Ben Cornett. Good evening, sir. Good evening to you.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't put the phone line up there. There we go. There it is right there. I'm on my game. Not critical at all. I didn't say anything. I'm just throwing it out there. You know I'm teasing you. That's what I do here. KR, I'm interested in Reddick. but the Jets said they're not going to trade him. So maybe Judon is the option, and Kenny Gonzalez. Our running backs look quick, huh? Absolutely, they do. I mean, were you not impressed by Bucky Irving? Were you not impressed by Sean Tucker in this running game overall? Over 120, like 136 yards of total rushing. Without further ado, I've let this guy wait long enough. I can't see him. I guess he's on. Let's go out to Powers on Sports podcast. No quarter given podcast here on the buckpower.com network. And of course, Spectrum Sports 360. Mr. Jason Powers, are you with me?
Can you hear me?
I can't see you though.
Okay, give me a sec. All right, let me see if I can fix it on my end. I don't know what you should.
Weird, my friend. I can hear your voice, but I can't see you. That's why I got you on tonight in case everybody missed you.
All right.
All right. So
let me get out of the studio for 1 second.
All right, let me get him out of there. That scared me. That freaked me out. I heard his voice. I saw Powers on Sports Podcast, but no Jason Powers. Let's see here. Let me go out to Joe Sue. I know it's football season. I just don't like when y'all talk football during off-season months, but during other sports off-season months, out of sight, out of mind. Well, that's not fair. I mean, yeah, we do spend a lot of time in talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I'll tell you why. Because when I was going to broadcasting school, and it's crazy to admit because some people think you actually do this show off the top of my head, that I had actually no training at all, nothing. That's how I'm feeling today at this point. We'll get out to the phone lines in a moment because I know I got the phone line up. When you went to broadcasting school, I had a professor by the name of Matt Salmon, and he said the first thing you talk about when you're in the Tampa Bay area, the Bucs and football. The second thing you talk about in the area, the Bucs. The third thing you talk about, well, I said, well, is it baseball? Is it hockey? No, it's the Bucs. The fourth thing you talk about in this area, want to guess what it is? It's the Bucs. But listen, that's how I was trained. Everybody likes Bucs football. I share this show to Bucs fan Facebook pages as much as I can. I know that there's a sense of, this is just a Bucs show. It's not true. We talked Rays, we talk Lightning, but I'm not going to lie. Predominantly, do we talk Bucs on the show? Absolutely. Let me go out to Keith here. The running game was great altogether. Absolutely. Gary says Bucs played good Saturday night. Unusual for them to play well in the preseason. It absolutely is.
Yeah.
Joe Sue, agree. Duran has to know better than to say that. Absolutely agree. Ben, love what Graham Barton and Bucky Irving did on Saturday. Good first impressions for both, despite being in a preseason game. Eric Moreno, you're taking calls tonight. I am. I saw your phone call. Call back. You can talk to Jason and yours truly, and that's because the Bucs were the only team in town until 1992. Wait a minute. You're aging me here. When I was in broadcasting school, it was 2014. I'm not that freaking old, all right? Stop it now. All right, let's go out to Jason Powers, Powers on Sports Podcast. Whoa, we got something here. I got my co-host on, my long-lost brother. Let's go out to him also. Let's go out to Mr. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire. What's going on, buddy? How are you doing tonight?
I couldn't miss it, brother. I'm doing great. I couldn't miss it. My buddy Jason Powers, my poker buddy Jason Powers. How about that one?
Love it. Love it.
I know you're happy, Harry the Greek, with your boy Caleb Williams this couple drives on Saturday.
Buddy, I'm really happy with what's going on down here in Tampa Bay, but it's good to be a Bears fan. I'll tell you what, you got to be happy for what a team like Chicago, who has been so awful the past 5 years. I mean, boy, they really got a chance to be something special, even in year one. What do you think, Jason?
No, I was pleasantly surprised. My thing with Caleb, I wonder if he can continue to play within structure of the offense. I know he likes to play a lot of wild neighborhood games, but can he play within structures? Will be key to me.
Former offensive lineman for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I'm supposed to keep him nameless, had a conversation with him 2 months before the draft. He says, if you get a chance to pick up a talent like him, do it. And I was like,
sure.
Really? Because I liked, I like May out of North Carolina, I liked all these other quarterbacks. And he says, no. He said, this is a generational talent. He says, he's that good. And then he says, if they put a few more pieces around him, He says this team will just. He says he'll never walk into it. Look, man, I'm 58 years old. I've been handicapping sports for the better part of say 35 years. Since I've been alive, I've never seen a number one overall pick for a quarterback to be able to come in and to have an offense like this. You got 3 potential all-pro wide receivers. You got 2 Pro Bowl tight ends. You got 2 stud running backs. I mean, hand the ball off and do a couple
Is
of
the
check
offensive
downs.
line good enough, Harry?
It's
That's
not
the
bad
thing for me.
No, really, it's not bad. The right side of that
Okay.
line is really tough. I really wish they would have drafted a left tackle, but they took Roma Dunze instead. I think. How do
It's
I put
good
it?
enough. It doesn't have to be great, but is it
No,
good enough?
If they can move the ball by running it because of that young man's talents,
Yep.
it's going to be pretty good. But man, I know we don't want to sit here and talk about Chicago Bears football, even though it's really exciting. I got to tell you, man, it is really exciting to be a Buccaneer fan right now.
Well, it is exciting to be a Bucs fan right now. Lots of expectations. Let's go back to their win because it is Victory Monday, even though it is a preseason game over the Cincinnati Bengals. Let me get your general thoughts because we were on late. I wasn't sure a lot of webheads and Bucs fans got a chance to hear your analysis. And, buddy, you're a superstar now. You're on Spectrum Sports 360, so everybody wants to hear what Jason Powers has to say there. Don't disappear there in that green screen, my friend. So go ahead and give me your general thoughts.
Can I have your autograph?
Okay. Yeah, I'll give you a tip at the poker table, Harry. How about that?
Sure. Just bring lots of cash for me, would you?
No, I mean, I was impressed with the Bucs. I mean, again, I thought Trask and Walford played pretty well. You know, Trask threw a couple balls that were a little dangerous, but again, I thought the creativity of I know they were pretty vanilla what they ran, but I liked just the rollouts and the bootlegs and the motions and all that stuff. And again, the Bucs running game. If the Bucs can be a top 12 and better running game, that's going to make things so much easier for Evans and Godwin and Otten and all those guys. So very impressed. Good start with the running game. Hopefully they can keep it up because that's going to be a key for me is if they can be a top 12 to 15 running game, they're going to have a lot of opportunities in the passing game.
Let me
What
go out.
What if I told you I think they'll be a top 8 running team?
Well,
Maybe
let me
even
go.
a top 5.
Let me say this right now. I'm going to pat this guy on the back. This is Harry the Greek because he's been saying this for the last couple of years, and I know that you were excited about seeing what the Bucs did on. I get it. Again, it's against second, third, but the commitment to the run, 136 yards of rushing. You got the physicality at the line with your guy there, Graham Barton. Give me your general thoughts of that Bucs victory over the Bengals on Saturday night.
What else are you going to say, man? They ran the ball. They ran the ball with commitment. A couple of plays they didn't, really didn't gain very many yards. But let's be honest, no team ever gets it right on every single down that they're running the football. But they stayed with it, and it opened up a lot of the passing lanes. And this is exactly what this team has been missing for quite a few years, even going back with the Tom Brady years. Okay. Honestly, that's what has happened. I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to see a much more dynamic offense than you did 2 years ago. Dare I actually tell you that? 2 years ago, this is going to be a more dynamic offense. It's going to be a lot better than it was last year because of 2 things. The commitment to running the football, and I think Jason will agree, and because that play action pass is really going to work for them. And I'll tell you what, it's just going to be really great. And here I'm going to give you a third reason. Graham Barton.
Oh, easily. And you look at the breakdowns. Brian Baldinger did a breakdown of him on the touchdown for Bucky Irving when he's running up the gut there.
Bucky.
And you can see, I love Bucky, what he did. We'll get back to him in a moment. But Graham Barton just pushing a guy and continuing on that block with that offensive line. Jason, that's going to be a huge key for this offense to really take off, especially the running game, right?
And I think the 2 keys in the offensive line are going to be the 2 guard spots. Can Bredesen and can Cody Mauch continue to develop and be stable in there and be solid and consistent? We know Wirfs and Reddick are going to be pretty good and really good with obviously Wirfs, but can the interior part, the guard center guard part, that's the part that you got to be able to move those defensive tackles and be able to get to those linebackers. Those 3 guys are going to be the key to that running game. And again, I think Barton's off to a good start, but can Cody Mauch and Bredesen do it at the guard spots?
Yeah, and you would think, Bredesen at the left guard. I still think there's competition there, possibly with Elijah Klein, because talking to Barton about...
they're not starting 2 rookies, man.
Well,
I think
eventually...
They might, Jason.
Well, it may.
They may.
It may happen down the road. It may not happen right away because you're exactly right. He's a veteran from the New York Giants. He definitely, has some potential. He hasn't been able to stay healthy, but when he's been able to be healthy, he has shown some flashes of brilliance. And then at the end of the day, you also lost Sue Opeta, but eventually I think this Elijah Klein kid, because of what Barton said of how nasty he is, how physical he is at the point of attack with his hands and everything like that, I think he could definitely be in the Bucs plans.
And remember now, Hainsey's probably going to be the swing guard.
Yeah.
He's going to probably be the first option if Mock or Bredesen get hurt, because remember, he's got a lot of experience at guard. So he's going to kind of be your swing interior guy. Wasn't Klein more of a tackle in college? Are they playing him at strictly guard, or are they playing him at tackle?
I think they're playing him. I thought they were playing him at guard. I thought he's a guard. So at this point, I want to go out to you, Greek. We talk about Bucky Irving. I know comparisons are asinine, but we do that on this show. I keep on going back to this. I went back to my good friend TJ Rives of the Buccaneer Radio Network. He said 25 years to clone of Warrick Dunn. And I sat back.
Okay.
And
three of you right now need to give me 25 Hail Marys and 15 push-ups to even think you're going to compare him to a Warrick Dunn yet, okay? Let's go a half a season to see what the guy can do. Look, man, he's got the name, Bucky. Love the name, Bucky. Okay, but let's be real, man. This is not Warrick Dunn yet. Prove me wrong, please.
Here's what I would say, though, Harry the Greek. If you go in this modern age of football, would Warrick Dunn have been drafted in the first round in 2024? Probably not. He probably would have been a second or third round pick, kind of like Bucky Irving, a little bit small stature, shiftiness.
Good point.
I mean, he probably does. I mean, remember, Warrick Dunn was a first round draft pick back in the mid 90s.
Well, they don't respect them running backs anymore.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying that the thought is changed in the league.
He's a little bigger than a Tariq Cohen. I just hope he can have a Tariq Cohen type of career without the injuries.
Right.
Okay, because Tariq Cohen, he was something special, if you remember correctly.
Oh, yeah.
Especially, he was a triple threat receiver, running back, and a special team guy. It was something pretty special to watch. It was like a gadget player. Who was the other gadget player? Played for New Orleans and Philadelphia, Peter.
Sproles.
Yeah, little Darren Sproles. My God.
Yep.
Yes.
And the thing about Bucky Irving I like is that he in his college career, he showed he could run between the tackles. Most of his runs at Oregon were between the tackles. And I know different level of competition and all that. I get it. But he was not a strictly outside runner. He ran a lot. They ran a ton between the tackles at Oregon.
Yeah, well, let me settle something for you. Little Bucky Irving ain't running between the tackles in the National Football League. If he does, it's gonna hurt.
Well,
and it's gonna hurt really bad.
Like Warrick Dunn, he never got hit. He never got hit flush. That's the beauty about Warrick Dunn. And I know you're gonna get nicked up.
Warrick Dunn is a totally different. My God, that's like blasphemy. And Warrick Dunn to me is a top 5 player of all time in the Tampa Bay. Top 6. What a great football player he was, man. He's just unbelievable.
He was tremendous.
Oh yeah, I watched some of the highlights. Our good friend Liam Mitchell. Congratulations, Liam, going to Pewter Report. Well deserved, my friend. He's been on this show before. He does all these Bucs highlights, and I was watching Warrick Dunn yesterday, and I was like, man, I forgot how impressive he was and how elusive he was and fast and everything. And Jason, I know you've got to run here. We got you on the lake. Can you give us another couple minutes? And then
you're good. Yeah, I got a few more minutes. Yep.
All right. I want to go out to Todd Bowles here. Again, congratulations to Liam Mitchell there with Pewter Report. Awesome. Looking forward to having you on the Sports Web here pretty soon. Todd Bowles had this to say about the quarterback situation. It's only one game. Nothing has not come close to making a decision yet. Who wins the number 2 quarterback job? 2 more games, and we'll see how this plays out. They both made some good plays. They both like to have some plays back. Obviously, it's still competition, says Todd Bowles. There's still 2 games to go. It's still close.
My question.
I know. I got to ask it, Jason Powers. Powers on Sports Podcast. No Quarter Given podcast here on the BuckPower.com network. We're going to get that podcast soon here. Get it up and running again. I got to ask the question, Jason. Is there a competition here? Do you believe what Todd Bowles is saying? Or do you think Kyle Trask, with his performance and eventual 2 performances, has solidified his job as the number 2 quarterback on this team.
Like Jeff Carlson and I talked about last night on Spectrum, there is zero chance,
Zero.
barring injury, that
Okay.
Kyle Trask is not the backup quarterback.
Okay.
Zero.
Case closed.
That's
Case closed, Peter. It's the end of the conversation. It's case closed. He's absolutely correct.
Zero.
Case closed. Don't even start the rumor. Let's not anticipate or assume, because we both know what assume means when you break it down.
Sure.
There is zero chance he is not number 2, barring an injury, as the professional says right below us. The end.
And
Okay.
like Ryan Griffin was, John Wolford's going to have a hell of a career and make a lot of money being a number 3 quarterback in the NFL for about 10 years.
You know, I'll take that job right now. Hold the clipboard, drink
Yeah.
some Gatorade, and talk to some pretty girls in the stand. I'm all for it.
And what he's going to be a valuable asset with everybody in that room is he has experience in the offense.
Mhm.
He's kind of a player coach. He understands McVay and Cohen and all that stuff. He's going to be a great sounding board.
Do you
for
really think
Mayfield
they
and
go with
Trask.
3 this year?
I do because I do. I think you need to keep 3 quarterbacks in this day and age because I mean, if Mayfield got hurt, I think somebody would scoop up John Wolford. I think somebody would gobble him up if he was available. You remember last year, there's a new rule: you can only put a guy that's kind of on that waiver, that practice squad deal a certain number of times during the year. That's why the Bucs carried 3 quarterbacks virtually all of last year because they were concerned that somebody would pick up Wolford last year. So I think they're going to keep 3 quarterbacks.
You see, I think they may only go with 2, and I'll tell you why. Because they are now showing the fact that Baker Mayfield has shown that he can stay healthy, and he did play through some, minor injuries. He was kind of dinged up. There's a lot of concern, especially with the pundits around, all the media, that they're saying that there's no way that Baker's going to be able to there's no way that Baker Mayfield will make it a complete year this year. He's just never gone back-to-back years. I honestly think that he's going to stay healthy this year.
And
so for
I
those
hope
reasons,
so
I think they go with 2.
Yeah, and I hope so too. But the percentages say that a starting quarterback doesn't go 2 straight years without missing some time. And I've told Peter this a couple times in the last couple of weeks. I think there's going to be a 1 or 2 game period this year where Kyle Trask is going to have to start a game. I mean, for whatever reason, whether it's just minor injury and Baker, he's not afraid to try to be a tough guy running those 4-yard scrambles and try to run over a guy. Again, I hope he stays healthy, but the percentages say he's not going to make it 2 straight years and play 34 straight games at the quarterback position.
I sure hope he does, because that's why I have the Buccaneers winning the division this year. That's because of Baker Mayfield, no other reason. Go ahead, Peter.
All right, one final question here. We'll get you out of here on this, Jason. Thanks a lot for the time, as always. We'll get you back on here again, my friend. Hassan Reddick has reportedly requested a trade from the Jets. Of course, coming from the Philadelphia Eagles, being traded from the Eagles. The talk is the Jets are wanting to hold on to him. According to Connor Hughes of SNY, he's reiterated this nugget, which carries green and white fingerprints from head to toe. The Jets were informed by Hassan Reddick's representation that he would report and play under his current contract. That obviously has not happened. First and foremost, why, if you're the Jets, and I guess the question would be, this is the reason why they are what they are. But if you trade for Reddick, why would you not get a new deal done? And if you know that he needs a new deal, why would you make the trade in the first place if you're not going to do that new deal? Now, of course, this would be mentioned for the Bucs because they're $22 million under. So should the Bucs make a trade for Reddick or Matt Judon from the New England Patriots? Are you concerned about what they have when it comes to the outside rush?
I am worried about the pass rush. If I were the GM, if I were Jason Light, I would roll the dice on Matthew Judon for maybe a 1 year, maybe even a 1 year extension, maybe a 2 year deal. I would not want to pay Hassan Reddick $25 million or $20+ million for 3 or 4 years. He's 30 years old. I know he's had some good numbers the last couple of years, but I'd rather rent basically Matthew Judon for 1, maybe 2 years at maybe $15 million as opposed to exposing myself for 4 years and, 20 to $25 million a year as a defensive end. So that would be the way I would go. I think you could get Judon pretty cheap draft compensation wise. You'd have to give him a raise and all that. I get that for 1 or 2 years, but I would not pay Hassan Reddick $25 million.
I don't think either one of them is going to be feasible right now. And for these reasons, Jason, you're right about Matthew Judon. I wouldn't pay him that kind of money. Not Matthew. I'm sorry. Hassan Reddick.
Yeah.
But Judon is not. You're not going to be able to get this guy in the cheap for 2 years. This guy's looking to get paid.
But he's
And
32.
I understand it, but he's looking to get paid, and deservingly so. He's going to get paid. And for those reasons, that's why I don't have him coming to Tampa Bay. However, we're talking about Jason Light here. I mean, just a couple years ago, he signed every single free agent when I said, there's zero chance. Remember that, Pete?
Yeah.
Zero chance. I've never seen anything like that. That guy is like the miracle maker when it comes to general managers around the National Football League. He has done things in the National Football League that I have never seen another general manager do, ever.
And remember New England.
But I still think he's going to get paid. I understand it, but I still think he's going to get paid. Matthew Judon can revoke a trade to say he wants to go to Tampa Bay. He's looking for the dollars, and that's because he's 32 years old.
Yeah.
Well, and because he doesn't want to be with the Patriots, because the Patriots could be the worst team in the league with Drake May. I don't even know if he's going to be their starting quarterback with the way Joe Milton played the other night. So, and then they got a new coach there in Jared Mayo. Yeah, but
would you do this, guys? What do you think of this? To offset some of the finances, would you trade Judon to the Buccaneers for JTS?
Yes.
New England's in a rebuild. They could use a younger guy, cheaper.
JTS.
Troyan Shoyinka.
Oh yeah, gone. Bye.
Would you make that trade and then pay Judon $18 million? Though, even though you're offsetting JTS, JTS is probably making $4 or $5 million bucks.
Hey Jason, I drive him to the airport.
Yeah,
right.
You'd consider?
Yes.
Consider? No, it'd be done.
Right.
Throw in a 5th round draft pick. Throw in a 5th or 6th round draft pick.
Why not? And he's going to only cost you $6.5 million. That would be Judon, of course.
Well, you're going to have to pay him. You're going to have to pay Judon. He ain't coming here for $6.5 million.
No, he's getting paid.
He wants 15. I mean, I'd pay him 15 though and give him a 2-year deal for 30. I'd give him 2 years and $30 million.
They're also linking him to the Bears, believe it or not, because they're looking for something for Montez Sweat to the opposite side for a team that actually has the money to go ahead and pay somebody.
Well, the Bucs do too. They have $22 million under the cap with the new Tristan Wirfs deal, so they have some flexibility, if you will. As always, Jason Light, Jacqueline Davidson, Mike Greenberg, John Spytek, Jason Light, always doing work over there with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Just amazing. Jason Powers, go ahead and promote yourself here on the Evolution.
Is he really leaving? Damn it,
He's leaving. He's leaving, man.
Hey, I'm going to be on Spectrum tonight again, 10:30 with Jeff Carlson. We're talking topic you guys mentioned, rookies that have impressed. So a couple names you mentioned might be a part of the conversation tonight, 10:30, Spectrum Sports 360.
What channel is that?
Bay News 9 for the Tampa Bay viewers. Orlando, we're in Orlando as well. So check it out. On Bay News 9, 10:30, we're talking impressive Buck rookies, and I'm going to be on Friday night as well. We're going to talk about Chris Godwin's move back to the slot. So appreciate the plug, Powers on Sports podcast. Appreciate you guys for allowing me on. And by the way, Peter Blake, I got a question for you.
Yes, go for it.
Wrestling question.
Oh, yes. God.
Yes.
Are you doing a memorial tonight in a commemorative career retrospective of one Kevin Sullivan?
I definitely think we're going to do that on Wednesday. You're absolutely right.
Can we do a memorial that we don't talk about wrestling? That would be better.
Just because you don't talk wrestling on this show,
my God.
we do talk wrestling.
Kevin Sullivan was the man in Florida Championship Wrestling for a long time.
There you go.
74 years old. Rest in peace to Kevin Sullivan, the Taskmaster, of course, Booker for WCW there for some years. You're exactly right. So, an unbelievable career. We'll definitely talk about him on Wednesday night.
He had some brutal stunts on Championship Wrestling, slapping women and beating the hell out of. I mean, there was some rough scenes, man, back in the 80s.
Yes, satanic, like he did.
Habuda Dean.
Right, he did some like crazy stuff ahead of his time, but he's definitely appreciated on Turnbuckle Talk at 10:30 on Wednesday night. We'll definitely talk about it. Jason Powers on Sports podcast. No quarter given. Thanks a lot for your time here on the Evolution. All right,
Greek. Don't fold the trip 8s now. When you get trips, don't fold it. Go all in.
I never fold trips, baby. Hey, let me tell you something. I've been known to push them all in. Not only just using both hands, but I get my feet on the table, make sure there's no damn chips sitting in there. Here we go. All in.
Boy. Y'all be good.
Good stuff, man. All right, let's go out to the comments. I love him too, and that's why he's going to be a part of this show. That's why he's a part of the evolution of sports talk television. And like I said, I'm proud of my friend there, Spectrum Sports 360. Definitely tune in if you can. They do have replays there on Bay News 9. I'm not saying don't watch this show. Continue to watch this show. Continue to call this show because the phone lines are open. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. I want to get out to Instagram Live. The Plunder, love it. Thank you very much. Run game looks to be on the next level, says the Plunder. Hello, fellas. Barton made a massive block to the end zone, leveling up the linebacker, and great blocking from the line Saturday. Had a few breakdowns in pass blocking, absolutely. But again, that's not your first team offensive line. That doesn't include Tristan Wirfs and Brederson. It just includes Barton. And of course, it doesn't include Gedicke. That's what you had on Saturday. And you may see a change on Saturday, once again, versus the Jacksonville Jaguars, where the first team may predominantly play that game. With that being said, let's go out to this comment from Ben. What impressed me about Caleb Williams this week was his composure. When he was out there, he didn't have any nerves, had good poise in and out of the pocket. He still has his rookie mistakes, but a good first impression. Good comment by Ben. I mean, go ahead and dive into this because I know you touched upon it. I wanted to hear what you had to say about Williams and his debut with the Chicago Bears, which, by the way, we don't have the tribal troll. I guess he decided, you know what? I'm not going to tune into the show. He's only the moderator of this program. Thanks a lot, Roger Shue, for tuning in. I go live on Monday. You're like, go live on Monday, and you're not here. But thanks a lot for tuning in. Give me your thoughts, though, on Williams, Harry.
I don't know what else to say. I mean, it was one of the better starts I've seen a rookie quarterback have. And analyze this, ladies and gentlemen. You're the number 1 overall draft pick. The entire world is anticipating, and they're waiting to see exactly what you can do. That's a lot of weight. That's a lot of weight to carry around, especially in a city like Chicago.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as brutal as Philadelphia or New York. I mean, they're the most asinine, media outlets you'll ever find. I mean, they're just crude. But Chicago, they're no cakewalk. It's difficult. But you have the chance to be loved and probably more popular than Jim McMahon. How does that sound?
Wow.
Okay. And I'm going to tell you, I was impressed. I really was. I was really impressed to see what he could do. What made me more impressed, he threw one bad ball, shook it off, went back to the huddle, and he came back and threw a dart 35, 40 yards downfield like it was nothing.
Right.
Like it was nothing, and running. And last but not least, I never have to make an excuse for a quarterback when they're throwing the ball with a hitch in their motion. Zero hitch. Zero.
It's good. That's great.
Zero hitch.
Yeah.
All the fundamentals are there, and he has pocket awareness. Get this, Jameis Winston fans. Remember? This guy can feel the pressure coming to his backside. Jameis couldn't. There's a huge difference.
Huge.
He didn't step out of the pocket like most quarterbacks would when the pressure was coming around the sides. He stepped into the pocket to deliver the ball.
Exactly.
There's the difference. First game, ladies and gentlemen. First game. Very excited to be a Caleb Williams fan.
All right, let's go.
And I'm just saying, I'd like a jersey. I mean, just
right. Absolutely. All right, let's go out to Eric here. Well, I think he's calling. Is this Eric?
Yes. So I apologize about my voice. I got a little cold, but I'm feeling a little better.
All right, man. Welcome to
COVID.
the Evolution. Will you shut up and be quiet?
No
it's
fever.
going around. It's going around bad, man.
Let's not wish that on him.
I didn't wish it on anybody.
Right. Just get some.
You said COVID.
Just get some tea and honey at this point, and
Don't forget the
some
whiskey.
cold medicine.
whiskey.
Robitussin.
Yes. I need whiskey after talking to you, Harry. Go ahead, Eric.
I got some. You want some?
I'm excited. Someone was saying they're excited about Graham Barton. I think he's going to be a top 5 center in the league. Maybe maybe not this year, but I like he brings that Ryan Jensen physical and toughness.
Did we say Ryan Jensen?
Oh, you did
Yes.
say right.
The Buccaneers just drafted a center in the next 3 years that will probably be, dare I say it, better than Ryan Jensen.
Wow.
That's how good this kid is.
You are bringing it tonight, my friend. You think he's going to be better than Ryan Jensen in 3
I'm
years?
not kidding you, man.
Okay.
I'm not kidding you. That is how good he is.
Jensen with the Bucs was one of the best. I mean,
He
there's
was.
some good centers.
Yeah, he was, but
I
they
kind of
always get replaced.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
He can play multiple positions too.
Yep.
Yeah, well, they're going to stick with guard and they're going to stick with center at this point, but
they should.
There's always a chance he could go if he doesn't work out, but I don't see how it can't work out. And you look at just the film, just the little body of work that he had on Saturday night, where he's finishing blocks and finishing people up and moving guys out of the way. And that's
touchdown from Bucky.
Right. That's what you want to see from your first round pick. You want to see a guy who wants to be here, Devin White, a guy who wants to be here, a guy who wants to be a part of this organization. That's why you're drafting him. That's why Jason Light and administration is drafting guys like Graham Barton and Yaya Diaby, because they want to be here. They're all about football. Go ahead, Eric.
Bucky Irvin, I think we have maybe one of the best 1-2 punches. I mean, he hits holes, and we finally have Barton at center. And you got Wirfs, and you got Gedeke and Cody Mock. I think we'll make a step forward this year, and then left guard. I'm hoping Elijah Klein will finally get his chance. I don't know who's going to win that left guard spot, Brederson or Hainsey.
I think it's Hainsey.
I think we found a diamond in the rough. Elijah Klein hopefully can be as good as Marpet. Small school.
I think he's going to be backing up this offensive line. I don't think he's going to be a starter. I think Hainsey's going to take over one of those guards positions this year, and they have to because of his leadership, not because of his talent. Let me be really clear. I don't believe he's a solid offensive lineman in the National Football League. He's got a lot of holes in his game, but they have to put him in there and make him start just because of his veteran leadership, because you got to be able to keep everybody intact.
Yeah, and I think Hainsey's just a guy at this point. I think they're hoping that Brederson.
But I think he starts this year, Peter.
Okay. Well, it may happen if there's injury, or it may happen because Brederson is not effective enough at the left guard situation. But I think Klein could definitely be a part of their future. Just hearing Barton about him again, they're roommates together, but he had a lot of great things to say about his footwork and his handwork and his physicality at the point of attack, and that's important. I think that's definitely important for this offensive line to continue to get done. What else, Eric?
That's it. Just hoping the Stars get a series, and then I guess they'll play maybe a quarter, maybe Baker and Mike Evans.
They should go a half this time, shouldn't they, Pete?
They should go a half. Yeah.
In this game, I think they're supposed to go a half.
Yeah, you would think that they were going to go a half. They get
There's only 2 more games, right, Pete?
Well, you got Jacksonville coming up on Saturday,
and then Miami,
and then Miami at home.
That's it. Yep. Yeah. So the Miami at home is just it's a dress rehearsal for the reserve players to get in there and play. This is the game they play a half. They may go 3 quarters. This would be really, this is a question for
Mr.
TJ Rives.
Well, I agree with you, and that's why we're going to have him on at 10 o'clock of the Buccaneer Radio Network. He's going to be able to break it down. I call him the human lottery ticket. I don't have to say any more, but show you that.
I call him a lot more than a lottery ticket.
Well, I definitely call him more than the lottery ticket. I call him a friend and a colleague, and he'll definitely be a part of the evolution. So, Eric,
he's a good man.
He is. He's always a good. We got good people on this show that are a part of it. Guys like TJ, Jason Powers, and of course Leo Haggerty there, and much more. So, like I said, Eric, go ahead, get healthy, my friend. Rest that voice, and we'll see you on Wednesday night on the Evolution. All right.
All right. Have a good night, Peter. Have a good night, Harry.
All right. Good stuff there.
Take care, Eric.
Open phone line 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Again, Eric, hope you feel better. KR says the running game is key for sure. By the way, the Rays lost.
Are they back to 500 again? I want to see everybody come out of the woodwork. They're 3 games over. They're 3 games under. They're 3 games over. They're a 500 ball club. Stop.
They're a 500 ball club, and they may be worse than that because of all the trades they made. I think Rays fans at this point have to look forward to Junior Caminero coming up here maybe the next couple of weeks. We'll see.
Let me ask you a question, okay? And I don't want to talk
Sure.
about it anymore unless you want to.
Sure.
If they're 3 games over, are they 500?
If they're 3 games over, are they 500? No, they're 3 games over 500.
If they're 3 game under, are they 500?
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. I consider 5 games up or 5 games below is still a 500 ball club.
Okay. That's, I mean, I'm saying.
You understand what I'm talking about. They're about a 500 ball club.
They're not going anywhere, and they made that clear with the trades. I understand that they added younger youth and they strengthened their farm system. And
Do you mind saying that again, sir, from the beginning?
They're not going anywhere because they made it clear from a couple weeks ago when they decided to trade away Randy Arozarena and all these other players and, Aesop Paredes. They made it clear that they're not going anywhere. They are a 500 team or below. It's not this year. It may be next year with getting back your pitchers, but it's for the future. It's always a perpetual rebuild when it comes to the Tampa Bay Rays. And you can't sit here and tell me that they're going to be a better team with these players now. That is not what they are. I'm a Rays fan, but I'm also a realist. It's not their year, period.
And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? That right there is a really good take by someone who's very knowledgeable. Take it to the bank. I've taught you well, young Patty One.
Yes, absolutely. With that being said, Skywalker, let me go, or Mr. Darth Vader himself, let me go out to this guy.
Talking about Darth Vader.
Oh, here he is.
Mr. Kennedy!
All right, best of the Bay, Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy on with us. And then we got Ben Cornett on the phone line. So first and foremost, Tampa Bay Ray, welcome to the Evolution. Ben,
Tampa Bay Ray.
Yes, best of the Bay.
Best of the Bay from 2019. Don't forget it.
That's right. Daniel Ruth and Dr. Ruth and all those Ruths out there. He was a
Baby
better
Ruth.
fighter than all of
And
them.
Baby Ruth and Ruth
That's
Kagayas and all the other Ruths are out there.
Okay, we're gonna do that.
You
Okay.
do that. All right, Tampa Bay
You've
Ray.
done all the Ruths, right?
Oh, will you shut up and be quiet?
The Baby Ruth.
Speaking of Ruth, come here.
Oh, there you go. There's the
There's
Ruth.
a Ruthie.
All right,
Look,
there.
there they
There's
are.
the dog. Look
There
at
they are.
that.
Give me a kiss.
Look at
Give me a
that.
kiss.
Pet friendly.
Okay.
Oh, look at that. Kisses and love.
Now we know what Ray does in his time off.
All right, Ray, I know you want to introduce yourself, but we'll get back to you in a moment. Let's go out to Ben Cornett in Las Vegas. Ben, welcome to the Evolution here on a Victory Monday after the Bucs defeat the Cincinnati Bengals 17-14. Your thoughts? Welcome.
Well, thanks for having me, Peter. What's going on, guys? How's it going tonight?
It's going good, man. I'm pumped up. Harry, I don't know what the heck you're saying or what you're doing. And Ray, I know you're pumped up. Of course, you want to talk about the Rays and tell
We're
me.
here to pump you
Pump
up.
you up. Right.
Well,
exactly.
don't forget. I mean, in another 2 years, we're gonna have to let Ben come in and talk about the A's because those are gonna be those Las Vegas A's out there, the Athletics playing
If
in
they-
Vegas. So
If
The
they
who?
get that deal,
Yeah.
if they get that deal done, if they get it done, because it's still in
Yeah.
doubt at this point. So, yeah.
well, I mean, is it
Yeah,
really?
That's about the only owner that's worse than Sternberg.
I would say Sternberg is worse because he.
I don't know. That's a toss-up, buddy.
Let me go out to the direct shot here. The reason why Stu Sternberg is the worst owner in professional sports the last 10 years is because how he talks about the fan base and throws this idea about how he's the little sister of the poor and how everybody knows that ever since he's purchased this team, the team is worth triple. Please, I've got oceanfront property in Arizona if you think the Rays are that poor. And
They
if
don't
you
have
think
oceanfront
is that-
property in Arizona. Peter.
Exactly. And the Rays are not poor like Stu wants everybody to think. Let me go out to Ben here. Go ahead.
Well, I know that the A's are coming. Well, they are coming to Vegas, and if they'll get a deal done. It's just going to take some time, and there's a lot of political red tape going on right now with all that stuff. But
It's always
that's
political.
a story. That's a story for another day. But
Yes.
yeah, about the Bucs.
Yes.
I was impressed. I made a comment in there. I said I'm really impressed by Leon Cohen, our new OC, and I got a lot more confidence in him now than I do with Dave Canales, because if you remember, Canales this is his first year as a coordinator last year,
Correct.
where Leon Cohen has had more experience. So you're starting to see that, and I'm more confident because they're going to have a better running game, and they're going to mix it up with the pass as well. I'm excited, to be honest with you, as far as the offensive side of the ball goes.
Yeah, I'm excited too, and I think it comes down to Canales and having that transition period, guys, because he's never called plays in the National Football League. Cohen has called plays for Sean McVay and the Rams there, the Los Angeles Rams. He's had experience with Kentucky. He's had experience with getting the most out of those wide receivers, and you have to be excited about Chris Godwin. You're putting him back at his natural position of slot, and I feel like he may be a focal point of that offense because you're going to double on Mike Evans. You're going to give that opportunity to Chris Godwin. And Ben, guys, we all know when Godwin was involved in that offense, how dynamic it was and how much better it was with him being at his natural position of slot.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm excited for Godwin just as much as I am for anybody on that offense because, like you said, he's finally going to get more plays ran for him. It'll help Evans out. It'll help everybody out. But the run game's got to help the offense out, especially with Baker Mayfield. Hopefully with Bucky Irving, I mean, is a good first start. I couldn't be more impressed. And Sean Turner, he's going to get some looks. I think he'll still make the team. But, man, if we could have Rashad White, Bucky Irving, my goodness, I mean, this run game will make this offense even better than it was last year.
All right.
Listen,
This
I
Bucky
think-
Irving guy, I like what you guys are saying about him. Let me be realistic. As they say here in the South, let me learn you something today. Okay, Bucky Irving is not going to be an every down.
Hold on.
Sorry. Let me learn you today. Bucky Irving is not going to be a guy that's going to run through the tackles. He's not going to make a huge difference in your running game. He is going to be a third down specialist. He is going to be a specialist for catching balls out of the backfield for misdirections, even lining them up in the slot. Rashard White is the starting running back of this football team. The end.
Well, no, I think he is too. But I think, Ray, you have to go about to what Ben has said, a 1-2 punch there. And White, for predominantly the majority of the year, carried the load. So having that second guy, not named Chase Edmonds, as I get it, he's got veteran experience, but he did nothing. So now you have a dynamic player like Irving. You have the development of Tucker. So your running back room goes from a weakness to possibly a strength, right? Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy, best of the Bay.
Yeah, and Bucky coming out of Oregon. I know that kid knows how to run in a professional style offense. And of course, that's Rashad's thing coming out of Arizona State. Their number one receiver on that team his last season there. And you got Chase Edmonds, you got Turner, you got these young guys. Suddenly you're making that running back room such a competition because the emphasis is going to be on making that run. It was the first preseason game. It was against the Bengals. It's a couple starters, a lot of backups. I mean, we don't want to get too full of ourselves, but at the end of the day, I like what Bucky comes in. You're thinking he's a scat back out of the backfield. They're going to throw a screen pass to him, but all of a sudden you do run him down to 1 or 2 hole. Now you just got him off for 6 or 8 yards like he did the other night. You bring in Chase Edmonds. Well, he's their thumper back. Then you throw it to him in a slot pass or down in a screen. So I like the fact that Liam seems to be setting it up that he's going to have decisions or choices to make at the running back for the running plays for your Buccaneers.
I think he's going to have the biggest impact of catching the balls out of the backfield. Peter, what do you think, honestly? Because that's where I think he's going to have his most impact. And I'll tell you what, if they use him that way, wow, man, that's just another wide receiver for DBs and linebackers. Let me tell you something. He's going to really grab the attention of a lot of outside linebackers. You start dumping it off a couple of times, let me tell you something. That's one less rusher when you got him in the backfield, especially when you got him coming out as a tailback and running in motion. You've got to cover the guy because, hang on, let's go back. Do you guys remember what Trubisky and Tariq Cohen did to this team with the one thing called a wheel route? Do you guys want me to explain?
Yes.
Would you like me to cue it up for you?
Can we not ever do that again? Because the linebacker is still trailing that wheel route and still trying to match up.
That's the impact that one Bucky Irvin's going to have for this team. That's exactly what he's going to do.
You're exactly right. And again, I think it comes down to Ben this, and you can go ahead and chime in on this if you want to. I think it also comes down to pass protection. That's the most key important thing, especially if you're going to have Irving there on third downs. He's going to have to be able to pass protect. And then furthermore, White is very good, Harry. You saw this last year with catching the ball. So if you can get that from Irving, that's another weapon that you look at.
Love it.
offense that you got to love.
Yeah,
Ben,
Love it.
I like what Harry said. I mean, Bucky Irvin, yeah, he's going to be used more as a pass catching running back, especially for screenplays. You know, I'm excited about that. You know, also I just got real quick. What'd you think of Trey Palmer catching punt returns? That's a pretty interesting move right there.
well, listen, he's the most dynamic on this team. Could be the fastest player on this team besides an Irving and, of course, a Cam Johnson, who we caught wind of in training camp at number 9. But right now he's hurt. So you definitely take advantage of that because of the new kickoff rules and the new and some of the punt rules there. So I wouldn't have a problem with it. And if Palmer makes the team, because you look at this wide receiving room right now, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, those are your 2 guys. And after that, who's your 3rd guy? Is it Jalen McMillan? Is it Sterling Shepard? Is it Trey Palmer? Is it
what's up with Sterling Shepard? I want to talk about him for a second. What's up with him? I mean, he didn't have much success past couple of years with the Giants. Do you think he's got anything left in the tank? And just don't say yes because he's playing for the Buccaneers, because I have my reservations about this guy. Can you resurrect him, Ray? I'd really love to hear your opinion on that.
Ray the Lazarus? Hold on, Ray the Lazarus man right now. Can you resurrect Sterling Shepard? Yes, I'm a wordsmith tonight.
I just like the fact that Baker and Sterling go back to Oklahoma. They've had that relationship.
Wow, great point.
I mean, and well, the thing is, Harry, you're right, because this is, if it comes down to a Trey Palmer or Sterling Shepard and our past experiences with Julio Jones and whomever, you start to go, well, maybe having a veteran receiver, you know, and when you have Bucky opening up, like you guys are talking about, the scat backs, it's going to open up the slot for Godwin. It's going to open up K. Dotton, who's looking fantastic, which is going to in turn open everything else up. So, you know, if Sterling's here, he's making this team, but if it's one of those things where he's taking too many days off to rest, he's a veteran or whatever, at the end of the day, we'd probably like to see the Buccaneers continue to improve that position with youth behind a Mike Evans and a Chris Godwin, because you don't know how many more years you're going to have both Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Maybe all of Mike's career, right. I don't know, but how long are you going to have these 2 receivers on this team?
And we talk about number 15, Jalen McMillan may be moving into that 3rd spot. We'll see. Trey Palmer, he's going to be in this offense, 2nd year. We've heard, you know, he's developed. Again, Sterling Shepard, the reason why you get him, Ray mentions it. You have that experience factor. Can he stay healthy? That's been the biggest key. So to answer your question, Harry, the reason why he hasn't been effective the last couple of years, can't stay healthy. He can't stay on the field. If he can't stay on the field, you know, what is it? Best availability is the best. I don't know.
The best ability is
reliability. The best ability is availability.
There you go.
But let's be honest, with this Giants team the last half a decade, if you're a receiver with them, how much if Montez Perfect is playing linebacker, I don't know. We saw some alligator arms on Saturday night. You guys saw that, right? Ben, you saw that. There was a couple of plays in a row where we had a couple of alligator arms, and you're like, oh, that's not very good. And what do you think
the
about
ball
that?
was high from Kyle Trask, so that
The second one was the second one was a breadbasket catch, but there was a linebacker coming in and a guy heard footsteps after the one that went high. So, maybe Peter, let's go ahead and play into the JP Peterson. No, he gave Kyle love today. Not love, but he said he's looked good and he's looked bad.
JP don't like anything that comes out of the University of Florida. Let's call it what it is, right, JP? So. You don't like anything. You're a homer, just like my partner over here for FSU.
Hold on. Did you say FSU? Hold on.
I love it. I love that sound, Peter. I love it.
I love it.
Yeah, you would. I'm sure you would.
Ben, anything else here?
It's, you know what it sounds like? It sounds like someone's on the toilet with a cat scratch and going. Thank God TJ's not on. TJ, I mean, TJ, you may not want to come on tonight because you may lose it.
You guys have done this because of that. Right
there you go, Peter.
You guys did right there, Ben.
That's, by the way, you need to play that for JP Peterson tomorrow. That song.
I'll clip it and share it.
You need to clip it and share it and put it right on his page because that's exactly what I think of FSU.
Oh, will you shut up and be quiet? Here's what I think about you.
This guy sucks.
Here's some Tom Brady for you.
Enough to suck right there.
I can't wait till FSU leaves.
I got another one for you. Ready?
They leave. Oh, that's it,
Hey,
Peter. Now you
can I
started
ask-
a war. I can't wait till FSU becomes
War.
part of the Tiny 10.
The war. It's
War.
going to be a part of the Big 12, actually.
Can I
Tiny
ask Ben
10.
a question? Can I
Yes,
ask Ben a
go ahead.
question?
Yes.
He's still on?
Ben,
Go ahead. Go ahead,
Yes,
Mr. Ray. Yes, I'm right here.
Tampa
the
Bay
new,
Rays.
the new
Last-
kickoff.
It's Mr. Tampa Bay Ray.
Yes, that's right. Mr.
The new
Bull.
kickoff rules the NFL stole from the XFL, UFL, whatever. They're neither dynamic nor new. I'm kidding. Do you really think, Ben, it is these teams? Because at the end of the day, we all agree that for a safety purpose, because I think all of us who play, I think all four of us play ball. We've all been in a wedge. We've had our slobber knockers. We've had our blocks knocked off on kick return and punt return coverage, but especially kick returns. We needed to have this rule. But do you think the NFL, why are they continuing to call it the dynamic kickoff? I mean, is it they feel like they have to sell it because it's such a big rule change, or what?
Right. I'm tired of the injury excuse. All right. Injuries happen anytime, anywhere. Listen, fans were getting bored with the previous kickoff rule. So
Touchbacks and stuff, right?
If the XFL, they just wanted to make it more exciting. I don't hate it. I don't love it, but I don't hate it either. We'll see what happens.
All right, makes sense, my friend Ben Cornett from Las Vegas. Use that second call if you want to. Appreciate the call, and we'll see you on Wednesday night, all right?
All right, guys. Take care. Have a good night.
All right, good stuff there from Ben Cornett out of Las Vegas. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go back out to the comments here. Let's see. Where were we at? All right. Welcome back, Greek and Jason. Absolutely. Welcome back, Harry. Good to have you back. Do they
Thank you.
4 running backs and 4 tight ends or both? Let's address that. 4 running backs and 4 tight ends or both. I think
I say 3 tight ends.
Mhm.
No. Ray, what do you think? I think it's 4 and 3. Don't you think 4 tight ends, 3 running backs, or is it?
I'll
Or is
put
it 4 running backs and 3 tight ends? Because a running back sometimes, if they're big enough, can play tight end, or is it the other way around? You think?
I think it's 3 running backs. It most likely, of course, is going to be White. It's going to be Tucker, and it's going to be Irving.
Don't curse like that.
Chase Edmonds gone.
I think Chase Edmonds could be gone, even though he's a veteran guy.
It's
But
9:59.
He could definitely be gone, and we're going to have TJ Rives of the Buccaneer
Where is he?
Network. And then tight end wise, of course, you have the guys.
Cade Otton.
Cade Otton.
O'Keefe.
No, I don't think O'Keefe makes this team. It could be
Really?
It could be Cade Otton, Payne Durham, Culp, and that's it. You
I
might
think
go with,
O'Keefe makes the team.
if anything, if you could go with something, you go with 4 running backs because Chase Edmonds has that veteran experience, and you only go with 3.
Well,
tight
that's
ends.
what if O'Keefe made. Okay. Because we saw it. O'Keefe, they threw one to him on a great play last year, and the guy, he tried. He had some rocks for hands. He had a couple of catches too. Great blocking tight end, but I think maybe if O'Keefe's on his team, it's 4 tight ends. If O'Keefe's not, then it's 3 and 4 running backs.
Okay. All right. So good question there by KR. Let's go out to Christopher O'Reilly. Good evening, Harry. Caleb Williams, impressive. We talked about that. KR Barton is a game changer for sure. Harry, you already talked about it. Ray, give your analysis on.
He loves him.
On Graham Barton.
I just love the development of his offensive line, and it doesn't go back to not just Ali Marpet and and Kappa and the guys he finds at Hainsey and Gadecki. I love what Jason Light does. He builds up front on the defensive side. He builds up front on the offensive side, and then he goes and puts the team around the rest of that and lets Todd Bowles run his defense. So Graham Barton is going to be 100% a great player on this team. He's not Paul Gruber yet. I mean, he's bringing that lunchbox, got the youth and a sense of humor.
Paul Gruber.
Barton's gonna have to earn his way to. I still think that Barton's gonna have to earn his way to start on this center. I still think maybe it'll be him and Hainsey platooning all season, with both of them also getting time in other positions, so they can maintain that diversity along the entire offensive line.
Graham Barton's your next Ryan Jensen, and probably even better. That's how good this young man is. Field, I'm telling you, Ray, this kid is something absolutely special, and he has that it factor, and he's got that mean streak. You want to know who he reminds me of?
Who does he remind you of?
Olin Kreutz.
Whoa, I like that.
Ooh, that's big.
Coming out of college. Same exact type of player as Olin Kreutz, and he's got that mean streak. Now, if he's as smart as one Ryan Jensen and an Olin Kreutz, he could be better than those two. I'm not kidding you. That's how good he is.
5 minutes, we'll have TJ Rives of the Buccaneer Radio Network. He'll be giving us his analysis because
TikTok, baby.
On the sideline there.
Baby.
You guys will be with me here. Tim says, what's up, guys? What's going on, Tim? How you doing? Welcome to the Evolution. I see my friend Mr. Williams right there. He wants to meet us. He wants to see you, Harry.
Is that Mr. Williams?
It is Mr. Williams. You still
Mr. Williams, how you
He
doing?
still wants Josh Johnson #1 in his fantasy draft, right?
He's got a Johnson.
Will you shut up and be quiet? I knew we were going to go there with that. It's so good to have you back, Harry. Thanks a lot for taking
I'll tell you what, I took a little vacation, but I'm giving you all the hell you
You're
deserve.
giving me all right. Let's turn it all up. Bucky looks like a young Warwick Dunn, says KR.
Oh, God.
Thank you very much. Do that.
Okay. Hey, by the way, when's your birthday, Pete?
Oh, it's October 3rd. It's shared with one of the greatest coaches in Tampa Bay Buccaneer history of all time, in case you don't know.
Sam Weish?
Bruce Arians. There you go.
Oh, Bruce Arians. So you're really going to give me the double, aren't you, huh?
Yeah. Ready?
Let me be really clear. Ladies and gentlemen, I know how to do this there it is. The man that's kind of giggling like a 5-year-old girl right now is the same one that was saying, hang on. Not only did he love Bruce Arians, but he thought that one particular ex-quarterback would be the next head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and vehemently told me Todd Bowles is not better than him. Shh. That's all I'm going to say. Shh.
All right.
Greek is right again.
Well, we can go ahead and bring up past history.
No. You only got 5 minutes. Come on, read some comments.
You shut up, Ray! All right, let's go out to
Sorry,
bed.
Peter.
It's good to see you. It's okay. You can bring that up. I mean, I think there's a lot of people around the league, and let me just defend myself, that thought that, Byron Leftwich was going to be the future coach in waiting, and it didn't turn out that way. Todd Bowles has done a hell of a job, and
he's not even emptying soda machines out. For any football team, let alone even holding a clipboard. The only clipboard he's holding is the one that he's writing on from his couch.
I got to read some of these comments because you're killing it right now. It was good to see Liam Cohen use the run game frequently. Difference between Cohen and Canales is Cohen has experience calling plays, where Dave Canales was only in his first season as OC last year. Nothing against Dave, but I feel more confident in this OC we now have because of his experience calling plays. Great comment has always been.
That was a really good comment.
It was. Christopher Cole, don't underestimate Klein. Agree. You know I'm right. Warwick Dunn is my favorite football player ever. Thank you. You know I'm right. That's
why
a great.
Not?
And why not? Why don't we play this for that? Yep.
Is that a
no? Here's
somebody played a match.
Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. FSU has some of the most talented Tampa Bay Buccaneers of all time. They have Derek Brooks and they have Warwick Dunn. What do you guys got at Florida? We got Reedell Anthony. You got that?
Excuse me. You want me to keep going? Rex Grossman, Neil Anderson. You want me to keep going?
Neil Anderson. Okay.
One of the best running backs.
Buccaneers.
Hold on. I'm talking about coming out of there.
Yeah,
there's some great players.
Yeah. Any Buccaneers?
There's some great players. Don't go there.
Reedell Anthony.
How about him?
Okay.
Hold on. Who is this?
Odom?
Who is this?
Tim Tebow didn't play for the Bucs.
No, Odom. Jason Odom was the offensive line.
Forget about the Bucs. Let's talk about the players that have come out of these respective. Yeah, I didn't hear that part, so don't count.
Right. Of course you didn't. That's a typical Florida fan right there. All right. I
went to college.
Whatever. Sad Warwick left right before.
That's what you FSU fans do.
You shut up and be quiet.
Well, you are really close to the hillbilly heaven up there, okay?
Okay.
Scott Brantley. Boom.
Okay.
Yeah, hey, how about that, buddy? Scott Brantley.
There you go.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
digging.
Very good. Very good. Eric Retz had some.
Steve Spurrier
held out, but who replaced him? Warwick Dunn out of Florida State. Just saying. Steve Spurrier.
Listen, I just like knocking on FSU fans because typically FSU fans are very simple-minded individuals, and it's easy to do.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
I'm kidding.
I gotta go.
There's some really great players that have come out of FSU. I'm doing a Baker Mayfield. Look at Ray.
Oh,
All right, now we
TJ's
have to
I'm leaving.
behave ourselves. I am
I'm
going to
leaving.
behave
TJ's here.
myself now.
Uh,
I
I don't
have
want to
to.
get in trouble.
Behave
Hang
yourself.
on. Here.
We got to behave ourselves because I call him the human lottery ticket, a friend, a colleague. He always gets me to go out to watch boxing pay-per-views now, of course, being responsible for the Rolex All-Star tickets, but he works for the Buccaneer Radio Network. He is a legend in this business. Make no mistake about it, a media icon. Mr. TJ Rives, welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. How did you like that intro, my friend?
My friend, that was first rate.
Thank you.
Unlike preseason football, which will be kind and say it's not always first rate. We did learn some things the other night. But we're ready for preseason game number 2, where presumably we'll see more of the starters and more of the fun. How you boys feeling on a Monday? Everything good? Everybody behaving?
Everybody
man.
not behaving. Harry has not been behaving.
Me?
Ray hasn't. They're bringing me down at this point. Harry's finally coming back. Yeah, you right there, Mr. Stir it all up like you always do there, Harry. But I love these guys, TJ. They're unbelievable. I love when they're a part of the show, and of course, I love when you're a part of the show. Tell me, you give me your analysis.
I've just been bringing knowledge. I mean, I don't know what this guy's talking about.
We're spewing facts on a Monday night. We're spewing facts here
Well,
on the sports web.
he threw me underneath the bus about the Byron Leftwich kind of deal because I told him.
Go ahead, remind everybody what you did.
I told him that my birthday is the same as BA. He doesn't necessarily like BA that much, but I had to throw that out there. It's October 3rd. We're Libras. And he said, oh, yeah, don't forget, this guy said Byron Leftwich was going to be the future coach in waiting. I think at the time, TJ,
He's not even holding a water board. I mean, I saw a water bottle for anybody in the National Football League.
At the time, there was talk of Leftwich being one of the hot young commodities, and I thought he was going to be it. And now,
speaking of the Jaguars, they basically offered him the head coaching job.
Yes.
And so, moral of the story, if you get offered a head coaching job in the NFL, what do?
You take
the job.
Yes.
Yeah, take the job, because he didn't take the job and things didn't go well the rest of the year in Tampa Bay with Tom Brady's final year 2 years ago. So you wonder if he has regrets about that, because it was a perfect situation. He was a former hero for the Jaguars, former number 1 pick, led them to the playoffs, won a playoff game, would have been a perfect homecoming opportunity for him to be a head coach. I understand part of the reason that he had reservations about it, because they were in turmoil. They fire head coaches frequently. He wasn't going to get to bring his own personnel guy. But then it didn't work out here, and lo and behold, as Harry pointed out, it's interesting. I don't know that he's anywhere right now coaching. I don't know what he's up to.
He's working at Woody's Car Shack over here, washing cars on Park Boulevard. Hey, I'm telling you,
he's got his clipboard.
I don't know if it's that bad.
No, but that was a classic example of a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush, because I remember they offered him the job at such an that was such a volatile influx type of a job, and what Khan was doing with where they going to England even, or what's going on there, and he should have, looking back on it now, because
I think Shad Khan's fired like 4 coaches before Doug Peterson, so you're not long for the world there with the instability.
No,
I understand that, but once again, not unlike Peter Blake. Have we heard that October 3rd is his birthday, the night of the Bucs Falcons?
What days? Can I write that down?
It seems to come up all the time.
It does.
Just like with Peter Blake, the Rolex reporter, if somebody offers you a Rolex, you take it.
You take it. Yes. Yeah, that's it. You take it. And speaking of taking it, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers gave it the other night. They gave it all to the Cincinnati Bengals. 390 yards of offense, including 136 yards offensively on the ground.
That's the most important stat right there.
Give me your analysis of this, because you were on the sideline there with TJ's takes here on the Evolution of Sports.
Love it. We're going original. First of all, I believe I've said for right around 30 years, going back to the early days of the old Sports Radio 910 in the Tampa Bay area, before moving on to 820, the team, the sports station in the Tampa Bay area.
Preach.
That preseason stats and results and what have you, it just it needs to just, I don't pay a whole lot of attention to it. Now, what do I look for? I look for individual performances. How did you look? How did you perform? Now, unfortunately, I've not been able to catch the first part of the show, with this being the first day of school.
Thank you,
etc. I was not here for the award-winning first hour of the program, so I don't know how much you talked about Kyle Trask. I figure it came up, but you're watching and analyzing him.
Yeah.
You're watching Bucky Irving and analyzing him. You're watching Graham Barton on the offensive line bulldoze people. Granted, it's second team, against second team when this is going on. That's what I chose to focus a little bit more on, because other than watching the individual players and how they might perform, nobody's going to remember even 5 or 6 weeks from now what happened in the Cincinnati preseason opener in terms of results or stats or any of that. So, Joe Burrow obviously looked good at the beginning of the game. The Buccaneers had one starter out on the field, and that was KJ Brett and a little bit of Logan Hall, I guess, pseudo starter. But so, you got to temper all this stuff. So Burrow looks good. Great. He's playing against the second team defense at home. He should look good on the opening scripted drive.
That was needed for him, TJ. That was especially for Joe Burrow coming off that injury like that. That was very important to get him off to a good start for the Cincinnati fan base. And they did exactly what they're going to do. They're going to have one drive, get him out of the game, basically. But you're right. As far as Kyle Trask is concerned, a lot of people don't want to talk about it. People are making a real big deal about the overthrown ball, talking about the interception that he made. Hey, look, man, it's the first game of the preseason. Key word, Allen Iverson. We're talking about practice. That's basically what it is. Kyle Trask is going to be fine, and I think he's the backup for this team moving forward this year.
Well, I think we lost TJ's.
My mistake. I had it on mute there for a second, but while Harry was on, I was listening. The first thing is the first interception was right in front of me, and it was just thrown late. He locked in, threw it late. You can't make that mistake. He probably should have thrown another interception later in the game. It got deflected. It should have been picked off. That was underthrown again. I'm not making excuses, but you can't emphasize this enough. There is no substitute for live bodies, live fire, opponent coming at you, blitz, getting knocked down. You can't simulate that anymore in training camp. You basically can't tackle to the ground. You can't block. Nobody can touch the quarterback. So when you're talking about a guy that hasn't played really since last August, he played a few plays in the Indianapolis game, and that's the only live football he's had against another team since last August. I can forgive that some of it was shaky at the beginning of the game. And now let's see how he looks moving forward. He will probably play a bunch on Saturday night in the second half of the game. How much does Baker Mayfield play into the second quarter? Does he play into the third quarter? Because a lot of times teams look at, okay, let's simulate what the regular season is going to be like, where you have to go in the locker room at halftime. Everybody cools down. You actually, you make some adjustments. You're simulating what you would do in a regular season game. Now you come out, especially if you have the ball to start the second half, and you want to see the offense come out of the locker room and simulate what it would look like in a regular season game. So it wouldn't surprise me if the Buccaneers do that with Baker Mayfield. But then again, Kyle Trask might take this game over. They might see Mayfield for 2 or 3 series, see a scoring drive, and say that's enough. And now let's see another couple of quarters of Kyle Trask. I don't know. As I often say, they don't consult with me over beverages, over what exactly they're going to do. We'll get some indication of what they're going to do. But I'm just saying here tonight on the Sports Web, don't be surprised if Mayfield plays like 2 or 3 series and one of them goes really well and they score, that they say, hey, we don't need to see any more of him. We've seen enough of what he can do. Let's let him not risk injury, and let's see more what of Kyle Trask can do.
Even with the new OC?
I don't disagree, but he's been with this OC before. He's been with him in the offseason. And again, I'm not saying one series. I'm saying if you get 2 or 3 series in and you drive the ball well on a couple of them and score, let's say, on 1 or maybe 2 of them,
great point.
Do you now risk continue sticking him out there so somebody can roll up on his ankle in a game that doesn't mean anything? I'm just posing a hypothetical.
Yeah, it makes lots of sense. Ray, I know you got something to say here. Go ahead.
Get in, Ray. What you got?
3 questions, because then I'm going to have to go and I'm going to watch the rest of this show. 3 questions for you,
go
TJ.
Ahead. Yes.
And I'll ask
do I have will be a quiz later? Do I have to keep track of them? Go ahead.
You're going to be able to answer them. One is, was the weather
Size 11.
Was the weather as beautiful there in Cincinnati as Rondé and they were talking about on the broadcast? Because they said it was a beautiful evening. It was hotter and humid than heck down here. And I'm assuming it was like, maybe mid to upper 70s and the humidity was lower. Second question, if this is a true quarterback competition, if it is a competition between Kyle Trask and John Wolford, would Liam Cohen and the Bucs, would they not be smart to let John Wolford start the second game and let Baker or let Kyle come in and just lead the third game for Baker, which is usually your dress rehearsal game anyway? Does Baker even see the field? And then the third question is, obviously the Bengals had all their starters in on offense on that first drive. Was the feeling there on the Buccaneers sideline or on the sidelines there in Cincinnati that this Buccaneers defense, made up of a bunch of young guys who are trying to make a team, they still gave those Bengals a pretty hard time? And if not for a pass interference call, which some could say was on offense, but probably deserved, the Buccaneers defense, whether it was second and third stringers, still went into Cincinnati and made Joe Burrow work to get down the field. Was that the feeling there in Cincinnati?
You got that all?
All right, so
Sorry.
I think I've totaled all of that up. I think I have all of that.
My bad.
All right, so number one on the weather, can we say a word? Gorgeous. I mean, it was absolutely gorgeous on the Ohio River all Saturday. No humidity, 77 degrees, like a kickoff with no humidity. We're standing around going, is this the fall already on August the 10th in Cincinnati? And no more vivid reminder than we return in the middle of the night on the charter aircraft, and you get off the airplane at like 2:45 in the morning, a little bleary-eyed, and the waft of Tampa Bay humidity hits you and starts strangling you as you get off the plane. Even at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're going, it feels like it's 93 degrees right now where we are.
Wow.
So yes, there's answer number one. Answer number two, I do not believe there is a quarterback controversy for the backup. I believe they want Kyle Trask to be the guy in waiting. They know what John Wolford can do. He's basically the emergency third guy if you have to have it. And you need to play Trask as much as you can for that reason. You know what you have in Wolford. He's played a little bit before in the NFL in some games. He's played in the preseason before. Remember, he got squashed in the Jets game and got hurt significantly, had a neck injury, and maybe even had a slight concussion in that game. And that's the game where Trask had to go back in the game against the Jets for that one. So you know what you have there. Trask with the measurables is so much bigger with a bigger arm. He is your backup guy, and you got to get him more playing time. So that's question number two. And then question number three was something. Let me look at my notes. Question number three was something about the defense.
You wrote it down. Like
The defense was better as the game went on with second and third teamers. But again, a lot of these guys, especially in the second half, aren't even going to be on the roster. So I don't know how much you take away from what you saw in the third and fourth quarter when you literally have 47 guys right now that are going to be gone. And a lot of them were playing in the second half of that game. So some of them are going to end up on the practice squad, but some of them aren't even going to be in an NFL uniform anymore. So I don't know how much you can take away from that. First half, maybe, Ray, more so than the second half of the Bengals game. So there you go.
All right, Tampa Bay, Ray, you're getting out of here or what?
I'm done.
All right, man. Go ahead.
Deuces, he's out. Yes, I got you.
Appreciate you right there. Thanks a lot. As always, best of the Bay, Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy will bring it back here. Yours truly, along with Harry the Greek and, of course, the great TJ Rives here on the Sports Web. Once again, I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. I mentioned this. I mentioned you because you text me when he got drafted out of Oregon. 25 years, clone to the day of Warrick Dunn. We saw a little bit of that. Harry, I'm not saying he is, but I had to go back, TJ, and watch Warrick Dunn highlights because our good friend Liam Mitchell, who now joined Pewter Report, put that out there with Dunn, and I forgot how talented and how great Dunn was in a Bucs uniform. So talk about Bucky Irving and talk about Sean Tucker, who kind of came out of nowhere. Really had a productive night. I get it. It's against the second and third string, but it's impressive for Bucs fans to see that running game take off, especially with these young players.
So I can tell you at field level that there was definitely some pop for Bucky Irving putting a foot in the ground and taking off. Again, grain of salt with what you're watching. He's going against a second-team defense with a second-team offensive line. It does remind you of Warrick Dunn. Now, Warrick Dunn had a special career at Florida State and was a good NFL player that at times would make explosive plays. So it reminds you, is it Dunn 2.0 25 years later here for the Bucs? Now but Warrick Dunn's rookie year was 1997. I do not want to accept that's 27 years ago.
Oh my God.
That 1997 is his rookie year. So but it's kind of similar in that
was a teenager.
I know it's similar that he would dip behind the line of scrimmage and you can't find him. You can't see him in the offensive line in the in the bodies that are there, and then suddenly, bam, he pops through a hole and gets 5, 8, 11, 15 yards because of that. Let's see it as things develop against first-team defenses, but I like what I saw out of him, especially bouncing off tackles. Then again, this is the NFL. You're not going to live a lot as a 5 foot, whatever he is, 10, 200 pounds maybe, running back, getting hit frequently. And the thing that made Dunn so special, this got explained to me a couple of different times by different people, is you can't get an angle on that guy. He was so shifty with move here, jab step there, cut here, spin there. It was so hard to get a clean hit on him. So I'm fascinated to see how elusive Bucky Irving is. And you mentioned Sean Tucker. He was the August star last year. He made the team based on how he played in the preseason and basically became the backup running back behind Rachaad White for the first part of the year on how he did in August a year ago. So that's a real battle right now because they like a couple of those other young running backs. Ramon Jefferson, the guy that scored late in the game, played for Liam Cohen at Kentucky last year. And they could run the football. And this guy ran the football. He wasn't the primary running back. So there is a real battle for like third running back on this team who can play special teams as well. So that's going to be fascinating to watch the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, and then we talked about that. And Harry, I want to get back to you because I know you have a question, but how many running backs do you keep? Most likely it's going to be White, of course. You've got Bucky Irving, Sean Tucker, Chase Edmonds is a veteran, like you said. You mentioned Jefferson there. So that may be a.
And what's the back from Arizona? Is it DJ Williams? I think that's
Williams. Yeah, DJ Williams,
and he's a guy that splashes when you watch him at training camp or in game. You're gonna have a tough call on. You can't bring everybody. You can't keep everybody, and you can't bring everybody back on the practice squad. So,
and that's why you may only keep 3 tight ends and keeping an Otten, a Durham, and of course a Culp, and the odd man out may be Keefe. Harry, I'm going to go out to you now. Go ahead, man.
I got to tell you, I want to jump on the back of what TJ was talking about. I really think that Bucky Irvin's going to serve best when Tampa's running a 2 running back formation and he complements White. And what I mean by that is defenses are going to be caught off guard. Who's going to get the football? Now, I'm not saying that Bucky Irvin's going to get the ball 15, 20 times a game, coming up the middle of the line, even running sweeps. He is going to be a third down specialist. And I'm telling you, opposing defenses are going to have to game plan against this young man because it's going to make that running game more effective. Not because he's carrying the ball, just because he's coming out of the backfield. This is going to be one additional linebacker that's going to take away from the line of scrimmage. And that, my friend, will open up a lot of holes. Merely having him in the game. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, TJ, because he reminds me of a little bit of an oversized Tariq Cohen.
Yeah, it's a good point that you make. And, we've seen other backs. Darren Sproles comes to mind. He would terrorize the Buccaneers as a pass catcher out of the backfield. Kamara is a bigger version now of what they used to use as that weapon in New Orleans. And there have been some others. Charlie Garner comes to mind with the Raiders as a guy that, hey, can we swing the ball to him 5 times a game, 7 times a game? And the Buccaneers were trying to do that with Bucky Irving on the opening drive, and they about got him killed. Kyle Trask with throwing it a little late on the 3rd down play on the opening drive, but they want to try to get it to him if you can throw it to him in space. And we kept saying this over the last couple of years. When you talk about, well, you can't really run the football, and you're one of the last teams in the NFL in yards per carry average running the football. Well, part of what the Bucs counter argument was, if we're throwing a swing pass to Rachaad White, or we're throwing one to Leonard Fournette over the last couple of years, or we're throwing one to Sean Tucker last year, or Bucky Irving this year, and we're throwing a 1-yard pass to one of these guys, or a swing pass in the backfield or a screen pass in the backfield, that's like a run play now. They scheme for setting things up to get a blocker, a lineman, a tight end out there and turn those into run plays. They're like run plays. Get them on the edge. Get them in space. Jet sweep, same thing. Get them on the edge with a blocker, a tight end, or a receiver in front. So there's different variations besides just trying to do this between the 5 offensive linemen is my point.
You know what? And that's exactly what I'm talking about, man. What a great point you just made, especially when you have 2 running backs. If they're both coming out of the backfield, trust me, Bucky Irving in a pass play, defenders are going to lean toward his end. That's going to put Rachaad White man on and even empty. Let me tell you something. That is something that just start the season. That's
Yeah,
all I
good
want.
luck.
'Cause this
Good
is just
luck.
good luck covering that.
Trying
coming
to
out of the
figure that
backfield.
out, right? And by design, they're going to do some of that, or where you're going to fake the pitch one way, roll out to the right, and have a back out in the flat that he can either run or throw it to. And good luck trying to stop that on a regular basis. So
And don't
we'll
mention
see.
the wheel routes.
Yes. So and Rashad White has always been a pass catcher. He led Arizona State as the running back in receptions the final year that he was there. So he can definitely catch the football, get him in space. So there's a lot to be excited about, and there's going to be some growing pains with Liam Cohen's offense. One thing that struck me, and Todd Bowles has said this to the media, he said it in our pregame show, when asked about what stands out about Cohen's philosophy and his offense, he said, I can tell you already because I watched him at Kentucky last year with Mark Stoops, because he saw 2 games in person because his son plays for Georgia, Todd's son, and they played against Kentucky. He said, so I watched the game in person. I got to go up and got to go see the game. And he said his philosophy on running the football and power running of the football and using the read option to run the football, which you saw a little bit. He goes, everybody may think it's just pass, because he was with Sean McVay and the Rams. He goes, this guy wants to set things up with the run. This guy will stick with the run. And philosophically, we want to run it to be able to get the play action, the bootlegs, the misdirection plays going by running the football. So I just thought that was fascinating. We're in the early stages of all of this, but Todd Bowles is just pointing out, if you think this is just going to be pass happy 50 attempts a game out of this offense with Liam Cohen, not the case.
And you
From
saw
your lips to God's ears to
yeah.
fruition, finally.
We'll see. We'll see.
You saw the embrace of Todd Bowles and Cohen on the sideline there, which you barely ever see that in the preseason, but it certainly seemed like this is Todd Bowles' offense. This was his selection. You like what they're doing with the run game. You like what they're doing with the pass game. And it's also, it seems like there is, what I'm trying to, the energy is there with this team. It's been there throughout the offseason. The expectations are there. I get it. They won the NFC South, but they absolutely destroyed the Philadelphia Eagles. And then the offensive play calling, there was some rhythm to it. There's definitely more rhythm to it. There's more tempo. There was more. And that's the first preseason game. Now just imagine, guys, when you get the first stringers on there, you get the first team offense with the offensive line. Let's talk about that line. Graham Barton, what have you seen from him so far? Because if you watch the Bucky Irving touchdown, he's finishing that guy. He's not giving up on it. And I think
that's right.
Back to, in the current with Jason Light saying, we draft players that want to be here, that are all about football. That certainly seems like all indications are this is exactly what Graham Barton is for the Bucs.
He said after the game too, and he's been working obviously at center some and alternating with Robert Hainsey and getting acclimated, and they want him to win that job. There's no question they want Barton to be the week 1 starter, but they want it to be a competition here. They want him to work for it, to earn it. So Hainsey did start the game the other night as the center. So it's going to be a battle back and forth. But Barton said something interesting to me on Buccaneers radio after it was over with. He said, hey, it's good to get back out there under live fire playing center, because he was a left tackle all last year at Duke. That's his versatility. And he was a good left tackle, not all American, but a good left tackle in the ACC for Duke. And that just shows his versatility after playing center for the first couple of years at Duke. That he can do that. And there's a lot to like about that guy. Comes from a tremendous family. They were there the other night because Nashville's not that far of a drive, few hours, 3-4 hours to Cincinnati to be there. His family from the Nashville area came up to watch this. And the hope is you're talking about a guy that can be in the middle of that Buccaneer offensive line for 8 years, 10 years, 12 years, God willing, if he stays healthy and can be that. That's what you're implementing. And yes, there's still work in progress. Who's the left guard? This team is thin at left guard right now. There's no doubt about that. But other than that, once you solidify, and maybe Robert Hainsey becomes the left guard for some of this, that could be part of it. But once you solidify that with Gedeke and Wirfs on the ends, Cody Mauch is in his second season, and they played him a lot in the first quarter the other night. You solidify left guard. I mean, there's a lot to be excited about with this offensive line going into this season and how they fortified it.
Yeah, and my guy over here, Harry the Greek, was one that said, Graham Barton is the guy. They should select him, and they absolutely did. And Barton talked about Elijah Klein. I think he's going to be in the Bucs plans. I get it. They got him in the later rounds there, but Jason Light has a propensity, Leo word, of
There's a good word.
guys. Yeah, out of small colleges, and the way Barton talked about him, because I asked Barton a couple of weeks ago, and he said, yeah, he's physical. He's got great handwork. I'm just wondering, I hope Bredesen works out at left guard. Maybe it's going to be handsy there. But I think Klein eventually will be possibly that left guard that you're looking at. And
you need guys that can play multiple positions. Hainsey would fit that because Hainsey was a guard. Hainsey was even a tackle at Notre Dame, but he had played center before. And when you had the Ryan Jensen injury, it kind of became next man up. He can play center. Let him be in the middle. And the Bucs have now addressed that in the draft. So versatility is big on that offensive line, and it is a work in progress for this week's practice with the Jaguars, the game, and then how much, if at all, are the starters out there for that final game with Miami. And the only reason I bring that up is some teams have changed their philosophy, because bear in mind, you have 2 weeks now from the final preseason game before the regular season opener. So if you don't play your starters at all in game 3 across the NFL, then they go 3 weeks without live contact from an opponent before the next game is coming up. So here we go back to, do you want some live reps even in a series or so in the final preseason game, because you still want some contact at least a couple of weeks before your opening game? So there you go.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think another thing that I brought up today, Hassan Reddick has asked for a trade by the New York Jets, which, by the way, you read this story and you can't believe, TJ, but then you can believe, because it is the organization as a whole. It's a complete and total dumpster fire there, it seems like, ran by Aaron Rodgers. You trade for this guy thinking that he's going to come in without a new contract. I mean, what are you thinking at this point, New York Jets?
Well, let me tell you something else. And Harry's kind of wise to this. And Peter, you've done this now for a while, and you've gotten wise to it too. Yeah. Whenever you see a team come out in a statement and say unequivocally, I'm paraphrasing, we are not trading Hassan Reddick. We have committed to having him on our team, and we will play this out, and we expect him to be back in camp. Harry, get me back on the screen, Peter. Harry, yes, what are you thinking right away when you read that statement from the New York Jets? Were you thinking what I was thinking?
Yes.
They got a trade. They got a trade partner. They're trying to stoke it. They put the public face out there. We're not going to trade him. They've got some kind of deal. They're going to trade the guy they traded for because he doesn't want to come in and play for them for the cap number. Did that not strike you the same way? That as soon as a team goes to the links to put that out in the media, that says to me immediately, smoke screen. Why do you have to do that? Smoke screen. They're trying to trade him, and they may have a trade. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if tomorrow morning we wake up and Hassan Reddick's traded for something.
Yeah. Like back to the Eagles or something.
Well, let me ask you this.
That would be funny, though.
If you're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you got $22 million under the cap. I get it. There are people out there saying JTS first-round pick, you invested in him. Yaya Diaby, he's hurt. He's going to be your future. But then after that, who do you got? You got, Jose Ramirez, Marquise Watts, Anthony
Chris
Nelson.
Braswell, who you just drafted.
Yeah, that's true.
Braswell's not bad, guys.
Well, but he's the unknown is there. So I'm kind of wondering, and I get it, Braswell is going to be your future, but I'm just kind of
line them up. Put them on the field. Let's go.
$22 million. If you're the Bucs, I'm not saying you have the inside information, but if you're the Bucs, TJ, would you at least kick the tires on a Hassan Reddick or even a Matt Judon from the New England Patriots? By the way, $6.5 million. He wants to get away from that dumpster fire.
Right.
So what?
Well, I'm looking. Do you have it in front of you? What is Reddick slated to make that he's upset about? He
wants to make like 20.
Well, what is he slated to make this year? What's the cap number right now? He wants more. He's holding out. I'm looking for what his.
Yeah, I think it's 15.
He's making 15. I'm looking here to see.
Now, I could be wrong on this. But honestly, I think it's 15, and I think he wants a lot more than that. It might even be less.
Let me just look right now as we try to figure this out.
But in any event, if he wants like $20 million to be an edge rusher, are you willing to make that commitment right now when you've still got salary cap plans of your own and guys that you have to re-sign coming up, and you're thinking about Rashad White, and you're thinking about Cade Otton, and you're thinking about, do you bring Joe Tryon Shoyinka back if he has a big year, and what does that cost? et cetera, for these different players. So,
well, here's the figure right now.
What did you get? What do you got?
He is making right now 1 year contract. It is $14.25 million a year. That's the final year of his 3-year, $45 million, and he wants a salary.
I said 15.
Right, you did. You're almost right. 25 to 28 million. He turned down the Jets' extension offer at this point. So I guess.
So do you gobble up the remainder of the 2025 cap, 2024 cap, and some of the 2025 cap to make that move? That's that's the real rub at this stage. And what other team is going to take on, if you have, and I don't know who has it, but if you have $40 million of cap space for this year, then it's a little more palatable. What's a few $1 million among friends? Then it's a little more palatable to bring him in. If he's taking up the rest of your cap space for this year and a large chunk of it next year to go along with Evans and Wirfs and Winfield and the guys that you have to pay big money, Vita Vea, but Baker Mayfield, that you owe bigger money to, that's what you're weighing right now. Yeah. But I again say, don't be surprised if they spin him off. And as soon as tomorrow, especially when I saw that statement, whenever you see a baseball team come out and publicly say the manager is safe, look out.
They're fired.
Look out. They're already fired. That's right here.
Death, and that's
2 weeks ago, they said that Pedro Gaffal of the White Sox, we're going to wait to the end of the year to reassess this team.
Right.
They got the 21 losses. And they went, hey, Pedro, we're going to Donald Trump you.
Actually, we meant it was the end of your year. This is the end of your year, not the end of our year.
Exactly. I want to go on to this comment really quick. Scott Bradford of Bucs Life says, what's up, TJ? Great to hear you on the radio Saturday. And I got to ask you before we get you out of here and you promote yourself here on the Evolution, how was the back to school hustle and bustle today? You've got 2 twins. I know you have something to say about
11th grade, brother. 11th
grade. Yeah. So Scott, thank you for the kind words. It was great to be back with Gene and Dave and Buccaneers radio, and we had a lot of fun there. Gene now in his 36th season for the Hall of Famer.
Wow.
Dave Moore with his 18 years in the booth combined with the 13 years on the field that he played for the Buccaneers. That's 31 years of being a Buccaneer. This is year 20 for me. Apparently we're either doing something right, Harry, or they can't find anybody else. I'm not sure which. Back to the twins and the first day of school. Here's the first day of school picture for the audience. There are my daughters, beautiful. Abby and Riley. Thank God they look like Mrs. Rives. With respect to that, they are going to hate me that I showed that photo here on the sports web, but it's also on social media right now too. So everybody else posted their first day of school pictures. So we're practicing driving. Full disclosure, we went out tonight and we're practicing driving. They can both take the driving test. They're going to take it next week. So we're practicing parking. We're practicing all kinds of things to take the driving test. And then God help me with the car insurance and what we're going to have to deal with after that. But yeah, this is a fun time right now. I have 16-year-olds in the house. I have high school juniors in the house. The funny thing is I saw Chris Myers.
Yes.
That's a Buccaneer touchdown. Chris Myers. It's up there. It's out there. It's a home run there. And what else from SportsCenter? That deserves a wow from Chris.
Wow, I know.
All right. So Chris perpetually has thought for many years that my twins were perpetually like 4 years old. He would say, yes, and how are the twins? And I'm like, he's like, they're preschool, right? And I'd say, no, Chris, they're 9. So in any event, Chris and Charles Davis 16 years ago on the Buccaneer preseason game in August of 2008 shouted me out. They showed me on screen and said, congratulations to TJ and his wife and the birth of their new twins, Abby and Riley. So Chris asked me in the booth the other night, he's like, how old are the twins? And I said, take a look. And I showed him the picture and he went, my God, they're not preschoolers anymore. And I said, no, they are not preschoolers anymore on that. So I love being around Chris Myers and Rondé Barber and all of that the other night. I will give you one more scoop here before I get out of here.
Sure.
That about 2 hours before that game, the Paul Brown Paycor Stadium press box in Cincinnati, we're all eating our food. You know, they got to feed the media and bribe us with food.
Sure.
So we had the press box food rolling, and Peter knows this, and Harry knows this about the press box food.
All too well. Thank you.
The U.S. Olympic basketball men's game was coming down to the final quarter against France. And I mean to tell you, the entire press box with all the Bengal personnel, the Buccaneer personnel, the workers, all of it stopped. And it was like we were in the arena in Paris on everything. The groaning, the cheering, the screaming when Steph Curry was making those shots. It was wild to be part of that, where the U.S. basketball team won the gold medal. Because there for about 10, 15 minutes, that's all anybody cared about in the press box about 2 hours before the Buccaneer preseason game. So that's
cool, man.
That was fun to watch and fun to be part of. And I kept saying to the people around me, the difference right now is the United States is making 3-pointers while France is trading 2 for 3. You're not going to be, I'm a public school math guy. You're not going to be able to make up the 6-point or 8-point deficit if you're trading 3 points from the U.S. to only 2 for yourselves. And so when Curry kept making those 3-pointers, I'm like, they got him. And one of the guys was around me like, no, they're in trouble. And then another 3 rained in. I'm like, no, they got him. They're up 8. They're up 9 now with that 3. What a scene that was. And Steph Curry had never won a gold medal. And what an opportunity in the gold medal game in Paris against the French team to make those threes. That is all-time stuff. On his Hall of Fame montage, when he goes into the Hall of Fame, they will show that last shot and the nighty-night running down the floor to win the gold medal, guaranteed. So that was just a little taste of the press box Saturday night at the preseason game in Cincinnati.
Absolutely. And I got to ask you this before we leave here. Noah Lyles versus Tyreek Hill. Hill came out today and said he would race him and he would beat them. Do you want to see this? Because we kind of...
Who said he would beat who?
Tyreek Hill's been saying for 15 years that he's the fastest guy in the NFL and he can beat all these sprinters. I don't know. Let's see him line up and race one of them and see what happens.
Noah Lyles.
He raced against Noah Lyles would eat his lunch.
Yes, would wipe him out more than likely.
Well, this is what Tyreek
in 100, absolutely.
Noah Lyles can't say nothing after what just happened to him. And then, of course, he accused him of faking a positive COVID-19 diagnosis. Tyreek being Tyreek. With that being said,
why would Noah Lyles have a motive to fake all of that, especially in advance, wearing the mask, which he was for the 2 days leading up to it, and distancing from everybody? Why would he make that up? I mean,
I got something for Tyreek.
Yeah, exactly. Antoine Winfield, right there in the face. What an image. What an image. I will leave you with this because I think only one of you is going to get this. When I say Cincinnati, Harry, and I say, with God as my witness, I thought turkeys could fly. Do you know that reference?
No.
Yes, I do.
Does Peter Blake know that reference?
KRP Cincinnati.
WKRP Cincinnati.
That's a show I never watched, man.
My friend, you are so
when turkeys can fly.
Missing out. You're so missing out. I won't spoil it for you, but for the Sports Web audience that remembers the old WKRP in Cincinnati, with Howard Hessman as Dr. Johnny Fever, with Lonnie Anderson.
Listen,
playing,
I remember.
You got to remember her. You got to remember her.
Lonnie and the jingle.
And Lonnie and the jingle. Lonnie's character name, like my wife's name, Jennifer. I'm a big fan of Jennifer's. And Herb, the character Herb Tarlick with the white belt and the white shoes as the sales guy, was every radio sales guy in the 70s and the 80s. Perfectly cast. Perfectly. Great show. So if I say to the audience, Harry, I'm shocked that you didn't get the reference, but Peter knows the reference. With God as my witness, I thought turkeys could fly. That is the famous Thanksgiving episode where the radio station did a stunt and was dumping turkeys out of a helicopter. And the turkeys can't fly and they're splatting down everywhere on the ground, with Les Nessman holding the microphone going, my God, they're hitting the ground like bags of wet cement. And he's saying, he's doing the Hindenburg. Oh, the humanity. And so the episode ends with Mr. Carlson and Herb the salesman coming back to the radio station, and their clothes are scratched up. Peter, if you don't remember this, YouTube this up. Their clothes are scratched up. Their faces are scratched up. They're cut up. They've got feathers on them. And that's the line that Gordon Jump, the actor who plays Mr. Carlson, says just to end the show. With God as my witness, I thought turkeys could fly. And then they fade to black with the credits. It's just a tremendous show. That's WKRP. So I was reminiscing, and we were right there in downtown Cincinnati, right by where that statue is, Peter. At the beginning of that show, every time they would show WKRP and show that statue, it's still there 45 years after that show was on TV. So it's cool to walk around and reminisce in Cincinnati, even though the episodes were filmed in Hollywood.
Yeah, that kind of takes it away. Kind of takes a little bit.
But they did have some beauty shots of Cincinnati all the time on the show and the whole bit. Fantastic nostalgia and more true to life than people want to realize about radio, because they were getting the stories from radio people when they did it back in the early 80s with this. But I leave you with God is my witness. I thought turkeys could fly. I'll leave you with that.
There you go. The media icon right there, a legend in this business, the human lottery ticket, my friend, my colleague. We'll see more of him on the Evolution. Mr. TJ Rives, thanks a lot for your time here on the Evolution, all right?
Happy Buccaneer season. We're ready for preseason game number 2, 98 Rock, Buccaneers mobile app, Sirius XM. Tune in wherever you can hear the games. We look forward to being on Saturday night with Gene and Dave. And we progress on to that opener with the Commanders coming up. You have me back when you need me. All right, my friend?
And by the way, Gene Deckerhoff, who does he announce for? Florida State.
Well, correct. Yeah.
So there you go, Harry, right there with your Florida Gator fandom. And, of course, Ray Kennedy with your Florida Gator fandom. Once again, FSU.
Are you a Gator fan by chance, Mr. Rives?
No, I don't have any allegiance. I'm neutral. I'm a Memphis Tiger. I don't have any allegiance. Memphis is my alma mater. Mrs. Rives is a USF Bull. So there's no love for the Gator Empire. We don't back the Knowles or the Miami Hurricanes.
All right. So I guess you can't get off right now. Really quick. Ray Kennedy, Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy. Yes, you're calling.
He's got a fourth question.
Wait a minute.
Get that pen and paper out.
I just have 5 quick questions for TJ. That WKRP reference, that was
And
gold.
as God's above me, I thought turkeys.
With God as my witness, Ray, I thought turkeys
could fly.
Classic.
I'm gonna let you. You know what? I just want to say, TJ, that's the reason why I remember all the days, and it's always been a pleasure. And you're just to be able to work with you and around you and with you, and I've met you through Peter. Has been a pleasure. I will let you guys go, but I had to call back. I'm like, why did I overreach with 3 questions?
It's okay. But were you a WKRP guy back in the day watching the show?
WKRP in Cincinnati.
Yes, more true to life than anybody will ever.
Lonnie Anderson guy.
Lonnie Anderson, phenomenal at that time. But I mean, the other thing is, it was so much like the early '80s radio. They were dead on with a lot of those stories. So go back and search that up. Harry, go search it up. You guys have a good night.
I am, man. You take care of yourself, TJ.
TJ Rives right there. And by the way, Howard Hessman was on Head of the Class with Robin Gibbons, I believe the late 90s and late 80s and early 90s there. Ray, what's up? What else is up?
TJ is
that was it.
TJ is the man. The end. He's the man.
He's the man, of course.
No, you know what he reminds me of? Rick Ross, the song. Every day I'm hustling.
Oh,
that's what that man does.
Oh, he was down there. He was covering the Big 12. He's everywhere. He's covering college football. I mean, I want to be like him when I grow up. I want to cover college football, pro football.
Up.
Yeah.
What are you waiting for, Pete? Puberty? Stop, man.
Shut up and be quiet. How about that?
I'll close with this, just so you guys understand where we're coming from here. So you don't think we're all just blowing this up. Is that Peter had told me today? I was like, Peter, I want to come on, and I'd love to, come on and chat a little bit about the Bucs. And you were like, I've got scheduled at 9. I'm scheduled, and I got TJ Rives at 10. When you let me stay in the room when TJ came in, that made my night. But yeah, great show, guys. Loving it. I'm gonna go. You guys just wrap this thing up, but I had to get it back in there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we gotta wrap it up.
Ray Kennedy, let me go ahead and get his intro.
Harry.
Yes, sir.
Harry.
Yes, sir.
Bring me a light. I'm out front. Bring me one. See you guys. I'm kidding. Talk to you later.
All right. See you later. Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy, best of the Bay, using his second call. Let's go out to Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams, welcome to the Evolution. You're on with yours truly, along with your favorite co-host.
Hold on. Peter, my man.
Yes, sir.
We got 3 words for somebody, and I need you and the other guy to just say these 3 words with me.
Yes.
FSU.
FSU. Thank you.
Now there you go, man. He's absolutely correct. Now that's the mentality.
Yes.
He said that's the mentality of a Seminole, okay? He said 3 words. You mean 3 letters.
3 words, 3 letters, whatever. There's a cold day in China before y'all win again. Okay.
Okay. I'm with you, man. I'm now a Seminole fan, okay?
Yeah, right.
I know you're not.
I'm a
Harry, I done said and I done watched enough of this show. And you out there making your little gator chops. Come on, man. You know better than that.
That's right.
No, I don't. But as God is my witness, I
what-
thought turkeys could fly.
Yeah, like if you actually think that Kyle Trask gonna be my backup quarterback,
He is.
He might be.
But I'm hoping he don't, because it ain't nothing came out of the Gators since Tim Tebow.
Man, will you stop?
It ain't nothing came out good in the NFL since Tim Tebow.
I will to this.
Oh,
the
God.
Bucs,
Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams. I love the phone call, but
the Webheads did make a good point here. You know I'm right on YouTube, which we need to improve our YouTube there. And I see Mr. Two Giant Goofballs there, Andrew. He's gonna try hopefully help me with that, along with the Amped Up Sports. Brad Culpepper and Ernest Graham were Gator Bucks players also.
Okay, yes, they was. But I'm talking about that was throwing a football. Tim Tebow was the last thing.
Shane Matthews.
Okay,
Rex Grossman.
Yeah, Rex.
All right,
Rex
and
to a Super Bowl.
Or excuse me. Tell me about another quarterback that came out of FSU. I just gave you a couple.
We got Jameis.
All right.
Who?
We got Jameis.
He's got 3 words. Jameis, Bust, Winston.
Hold on. Brad Johnson, which
Brad
won touchdowns and 6 interceptions. Yes, right there. Hold on.
Hang on, I got
something for you. Harry, man, it's all right, man. What's so, Harry? Man, it's good to see you.
Yes.
And I hope I can see you soon.
It's good to see you, man. It's nice to talk to you. I don't see you. You see me because you're on the phone. But that's all right.
Man, I see you.
I told you, man. All you got to do is just drop me something in my DM, and Peter, take me off because she's gonna kill you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right. Hi. By the way, hi, Jamie.
Hello, Jamie.
Hi, Jamie.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, all you got to do is just drop a DM to me. And just let me know when you're going to be out. You can go out to the track over at Tampa Greyhound Track. I'll be more than happy to get you those wings.
No, man. We going to Raymond James when I meet you.
Well, what we're doing, we got to have a sports web get together with all the web heads. We got to have some wings. We got to have, some sodas. Well, that's you. That's not me, but we can do that. And have a get together of all the fans that watch the sports web throughout the years. And Mr. Williams, you're definitely one of those. Curtis.
We're going to have an opportunity to do that probably next month at a new and upcoming restaurant located right here in Pinellas County in Dunedin. There's more to come. It's going to be the only fine dining Italian restaurant with outside seating. And trust me, the sports web's going to travel really well. All you got to do is come out and let's have a good old time. And Peter is going to buy drinks.
All right. I will buy some drinks. I'll buy some food, of course. Harry will definitely.
No, don't say you're buying the food, Peter. They're like $40 and $50 a plate.
Wow, this sounds good. You got like chicken parmesan, something like that.
Chicken parm, yeah. I want you to tell the chef, hey man, can you give me chicken parm? He goes, yeah. It's up the road. It's called Olive Garden.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, what kind of food do they? I mean, what's acceptable here?
It's all high. Let me tell you something. It's going to be all homemade pastas.
Okay.
I mean, like homemade pasta. The pasta's made to order.
Chicken Alfredo, stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm talking about not the pasta you buy in a store. They have a machine that spits the pasta out. I'm not kidding you. It's
I
that
believe
good.
you. I'm ready to eat.
It's fire, but seriously, it's going to be fine.
Okay.
And I got 2 comments I got to bring up here. David Mosier turns around and says, "Harry, you're making fun of the Seminoles. Why don't you show the world how retards clap doing the gator chomp?" Okay, okay, okay. Here, right here. I'm going to show you what one looks like in real life. There it is. Look at him. Look at him. There it is. There it is. There's your typical Seminole.
Hey man, but though,
And Andrew Davis says, "Hold on, don't mess with Jersey girls. They can't pump their own gas, but they can cuss you out like no other." Yeah, you're absolutely correct. We're both married to one. And Two Giant Goofballs says, "Peter, have you ever been to an Italian restaurant before?" No kidding. Yeah, let me get the Peter's been to Italian restaurants called Olive Garden.
What's wrong with Olive Garden? Damn it!
Nothing. Hungry Howie's is great pizza too.
You always make fun of me with my food choices. Hold on. I want to get something off my chest here. First, I always get made fun of for my food choices. I like Hungry Howie's pizza. By the way, open to who knows.
That's the fine Italian pizza.
Sponsorships and everything else. Hungry Howie's. I love you because I always think of my dad. And then on top of it, Olive Garden. I love Olive Garden. I love the fettuccine Alfredo. I love all the chicken parm there. What's wrong with that stuff? I'm simple, man.
Nothing at all, man. You're correct. You are simple, sir.
You're a simpleton.
I'm Peter. I'm Peter. Can you take me to Olive Garden?
Will you shut up and be quiet? Go ahead, Mr. Williams.
Here you go.
Hey, man, but we're gonna
That's all right.
get ready
I
for
like Taco Bell. I like Olive Garden.
night.
Right. I need to go to an Italian restaurant. Yes, Mr. Williams, you're invited.
And Taco Bell is Peter's version of the best Mexican food.
It's not, but yeah, I've had some Mexican food before. It's not, but everybody likes Taco Bell, most likely, unless you're just not cool at parties.
No, seriously. You eat Taco Bell the next morning, you're doing the chant for.
Amen.
Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up.
Listen, man, I'm only busting on FSU fans. I actually do root for FSU. I root for all the Florida teams. Yes, including the University of Miami.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Not bad.
Because let me tell you something. There's nobody better in all the country, and I mean this sincerely.
Yes.
Nothing is compared to the Southeastern, not the conference, the whole Southeastern part of the United States. You breed football players. And let me tell you something. The best football players come out of the Southeast. Not the conference, out of the Southeast. South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Florida. I mean, there's.
I think you can make the case
best.
for Southeastern Conference. All the drafts that have had NFL.
Well, that's always dominated, Pete. Right. You know that the past 15 years it's been like that.
Right.
But you know what? It's starting to level out a little bit.
Yeah, it is. Mr. Williams, what do you got?
Yes, sir. Hey, see you guys September 9th, man. September 9th, first game against Commando.
Was it September 8th? I thought it was, Mr. Williams.
It's the 8th.
September 8th,
yes.
If you go to September 9th, you'll probably miss the game, my friend. You'll have to.
Right, man. It's the 8th because it's a couple of days before my birthday.
Well, there you go. Happy birthday, buddy. What's better for a birthday present than not only some great Italian food at a legitimate
Olive Garden
restaurant? We shut up and be quiet.
Right, kid, it would have been very nice if my good friend could have just had my wings ready.
Yes, I think the wife is calling for the left-hander right now. So,
all right, Williams, hey man, you have a good night, brother Harry, man.
My brother, Mr. Williams, God bless you, man. I can't wait to see you. Seriously, you're going to have some big announcements. I hope you can come out and visit us when they do the grand opening.
I go in the hospital this coming Thursday, man.
All right. Well,
I got to go back in the hospital this coming Thursday. So
Well,
So you guys pray for me, man.
we're definitely praying for
We'll
you.
pray
here on
for you,
the
brother.
Sports Web. You get back here. You get back
Yeah,
on this show,
man.
my friend, and we will meet you soon. Okay, you hang in there. We got you, brother. We got you here on the
All right,
Sports
my
Web.
man. You guys have a good weekend and stuff, and I hope to see you all again, man. God's will, man.
All right, you
God
will.
willing, and
Well,
God will forgive you for being a Seminoles fan, but I'm sure he'll be looking over you.
He'll definitely be looking
Hey,
over you.
hey, man. He done already gave me my halo, man.
Oh, I love it.
I'm sure he did.
I love it, man. All right, Mr. Williams.
All right, man. I love you guys, man.
We love you too, man. Thanks for tuning in, Mr. Williams. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Williams, don't forget.
Yes.
Puff, puff, pass, baby.
There you go. And on that note right there, we'll get you out of here on that. Harry the Greek, thanks a lot for your time. Welcome back, my friend.
Absolutely, Peter. Hey, listen, I want to tell everybody we got something exciting coming up. You'll get to see me on Monday and Wednesday nights during the season. That's exactly what we're talking about. And who knows? Peter may make an appearance every once in a while on a Sunday for the over-under should be live on a Sunday morning so that we can give you the hottest picks like we have the past 4 years at a 70% clip against the spread. Not every game, only the games that the Greek and Pete like.
Love it. Good stuff. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire of the Sports Web. Again, welcome back. And by the way, happy Madden night, and we'll see you soon here on the Evolution. All right.
Happy who night?
Madden night. John Madden football has come out tonight. After this show, I'm going to go out there and play some video games.
There you go. And Peter, I want to wish you an early happy birthday on October 3rd.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I expect some gifts in the mail and everything like that, my friend.
Of course. And a little shout out to my boy at Two Giant Goofballs, Mr. Andrew Davis, one of the Tres Amigos, the Legions. Remember that? The Legions.
Yes.
Anyway, we'll talk to you later. And Peter, Olive Garden is not Italian food, okay?
And Harry, this is the best program in the state of Florida.
Oh, it is. Baker Mayfield.
On that note, see you later. All right, get out of here. We'll read the rest of these comments, and then we will wrap it up for the night because Madden football has come out. I'm going to go out there and play some video games for a little bit. Yeah, I play some video games. Let me go out to Instagram Live. Matt420, that's my Uber driver. It is. Thanks a lot for tuning in to the Evolution of Sports Talk. I told you guys I drive Uber a little bit, so I'm always putting my card out there. I'm always promoting the evolution of Sports Talk Television, and hopefully you tell your friends because we got great guests like Jason Powers, like Harry the Greek, like Ray Kennedy, and of course the media icon himself, Mr. TJ Rives. So we'll read the rest of these comments and we will wrap it up for the night here. Don't underestimate Klein. Absolutely. Work done is my favorite football player. Always love to hear that. Klein played both guard positions. Christopher Cole, we should roll with whatever we have at outside linebacker. Just search the waiver wire. Miss Darlene Emanuel, congrats on the Bucs W. Thank you. To the Green Queen right there. She's a big Philadelphia Eagle fan. But don't worry, guys. We will convert her over to a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan by the end of this season. I can assure you. Enjoy the ride. We absolutely will.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're all riding with the Rolex reporter, okay? There we go. Dave, Bucky Buck is going to be a stud. I absolutely agree with that. Dave, Future, Olel, Werfs, Klein, Barton, Mock, and Luke Gedeke like that. Absolutely. The Bucs are wide receiver rich right now. The future is right behind Evans and Godwin. Certainly seems like it. With Jalen McMillan, Trey Palmer, the development there. We'll see what happens with Rock Jared. He's definitely also, Robert isn't taking the snaps at guard yet. He is not. Scott says Bucky Irving will also spell white when he needs a break. Sean Tucker, I saw him still missing blocks in preseason. That's a huge knock that will get your quarterback hurt. You're exactly right. Let's go out to Scott again. Okay, I don't want to read that. Christopher Cole, did they put Edmonds and Shepard on the practice squad or place them on IR with the chance to return after week 6? They would have to be hurt in order to do that, I believe. Edmonds is still banged up. Shepard, you haven't really heard anything from him at this point. So I guess that's a possibility. Again, if they're still hurt, certainly could do that. Question. Do you ever see Kyle being a starter in the league? I do not. By the way, I'm a Gator alum. I do not see Kyle ever being a starter unless because of injury. Good point. I don't see it either, but who knows? Because has he been given the reps at this point? No. Has he seen the game action? No. But there's a reason why he hasn't seen the game action, because obviously he has not convinced this organization that he is ready to start. You knock on wood. Hopefully Baker Mayfield does not get hurt, so you don't find out, because you want to see Baker Mayfield on this team. But if Kyle Trask is a guy that's going to start, most likely it's going to be somewhere else next year. So good stuff there. I agree with you. Charlie says, greetings, guys, from Tijuana, Mexico. Appreciate that. International, Costa Rica, Tijuana, Mexico. I mean, all over, worldwide. It's the evolution of sports talk television. You got to love it. This is for Bucs fans. This is for the Tampa Bay sports fan, for you to get the opportunity on Monday and Wednesday night after Bucs games, before Bucs games, to interact and have that engagement. Not a lot of shows out there like that. They're on the radio and television. This is totally different. We call this the evolution. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Keeps blocking alone will make the team. Okay, Scott, thanks a lot for tuning in. As always, I agree with Harry on Barton 100%. Cut 21 Hayes, please. That would be Andrew Hayes. Did not look good the other night. I was going to say Peter shared his birthday with Lehman Bennett. No. I don't think that's true. Hopefully, was not a good coach. Not one of the best coaches in Bucs history there, smart guy. Peter, Harry, and Ray, all I want to know is, what did you have for dinner? Laugh out loud.
Oh, yeah.
I had pork chops and mashed potatoes along with some applesauce. I know, again, simple, but sometimes I'm simplistic when it comes to food. Thanks a lot to my sister for cooking, because, again, like a hot summer day on a Saturday night, if I try to cook, everything is going to burn. Remember this, guys, if anything else. Air fryers save lives. Okay, I got to put a shirt on that. I got to definitely coin that phrase. So thank you very much, Scott, for tuning in. Yes, sir, 100.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go out to Nick, the Greek. Absolutely, it is the Greek. Let's go out to Ray Kennedy. I should have just went with the weather question. Overreach, what do you expect? I'm talking to TJ friggin' Rives. Got to make sandwiches for the kids' lunches for the second day of school tomorrow. Let them eat cake. Great stuff. As always, best of the Bay, Tampa Bay.
Oh, yeah.
KR says, breaking news, JR is being called up by the Rays. So Junior Caminero, after the loss tonight, it's about time, Tampa Bay Rays. The future is now. Junior Caminero called up by the Tampa Bay Rays. So, yeah, the Rays are not going anywhere, but this is what you look forward to, seeing one of the top prospects in baseball. KR, thanks a lot for the breaking news. Should be up tomorrow. 2 giant goop balls. What's up, everyone? John, it's my birthday today. I'm 35. I have plans for my birthday from Florida. John, thanks a lot for tuning into the evolution, and happy birthday. Appreciate it. I mean, you could be doing other things. You could be drinking. You could be getting drunk. You could be watching a movie. You could be with a significant other if you have a significant other. But yet you chose on your birthday to watch the evolution of sports talk television. So I appreciate it. So, John, always welcome here on the sports web. They had radio in the early 80s. They did. Here you're making fun of the Seminoles. Why don't you show? Yes, we already said that. Don't mess with Jersey girls. Good comment by 2 giant goop balls. Peter, have you ever been to an Italian restaurant before? No, I have not. Junior call up by the Rays. 2 giant again. Olive Garden is the Taco Bell of Italian food. Okay. Yeah, but you don't expect nacho fries at a good Mexican place, do you? No, you don't. You're exactly right. Let's go out to Charlie. Viva el taco. Viva el Taco Mexicano is better than Taco Bell. Most likely you are correct.
Oh, yeah.
And right now you guys are making me hungry. Even at this hour, at this late hour, I'm ready to eat some tacos, ready to eat some Italian food. But I cannot, because I'm getting up there in age and I do have some bad acid reflux. So once again, a PSA for you. Do not eat after 8 o'clock if you have acid reflux. Peter thinks Arby's makes great roast beef. Definitely not going to go there on that. If it's in the game, it's in the game. Absolutely. Madden football, definitely on my way there to play some video games. Peter will play while eating unlimited breadsticks, at least go to Carrabba's. And breaking news, JR will be traded once he wants money. Probably the comment of the night, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully that changes. Hopefully the fortunes of the Rays changes when they get their new stadium. We shall see. But again, thanks a lot to all the guests tonight. Of course, Powers on Sports Podcast, Spectrum 360 Sports, Mr. Jason Powers. Of course, No Quarter Given. Definitely like and subscribe to that podcast there, as it's a Bucs podcast. It's on the buckpower.com network. Of course, Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire. Best of the Bay, Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy. And again, the media icon, Mr. TJ Rives. Like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Friend me on Facebook at Peter H. Blake. Give to Facebook stars if you like the content. It'll give me an opportunity to maybe get some better food there. Go to an Italian restaurant. YouTube super chats are open. Do 3 things for me on this Monday night where football, guys, once again, is here, but it's right around the corner and it's about ready to start. 3 things. You know them, you love them. You got to have them, just like that FSU chant. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for fans of the Sports Web and the Tampa Bay Sports Fan, it's your time. We'll see you next time on the evolution of Sports Talk Television.
Hello, I'm Stan Arthur, the admin and creator of the I Love St. Pete Facebook group, and I'm sure a few of you are seeing my face for the first time. I started I Love St. Pete back in 2009 with no plan whatsoever. After 6 years, we had just 5,000 members. And since that time, our membership has grown like wildfire. In 2020, I held my first fundraiser for a woman who needed a used car to drive 50 miles each day just to get to work and back. The response was overwhelming. At the time, we had about 50,000 members, but we did raise over $16,000 in just a few days. So in 2021, I created the I Love St. Pete Emergency Relief Fund, and through the help of a wonderful tax attorney, it became an official 501c3 charitable organization. I built a website and a PayPal portal where anyone could donate. Again, the response was incredible. Through the Emergency Relief Fund and with donations from my I Love St. Pete group members, since 2021, we have been able to stop evictions, feed hungry children, get water and power restored, and even buy diapers and formula for newborns. Most recently, my mission has changed to help people who have suffered through catastrophic losses, such as a house fire, floods, serious personal injury, and even life-saving surgery for a newborn. All of this has been made possible through the monthly donations, what I call pledges, coming from our I Love St. Pete group members. Now, I want you to imagine this. If just 10% of our group members gave just $5 each month, we could be doing incredible things. We could be renovating whole houses, buying vehicles, replacing a house full of items that were lost through a fire. In short, taking care of some of our I Love St. Pete group members who have suffered a catastrophic loss, who are facing a financial emergency that cannot be solved through the usual resources. That's why I do this. I'm the one who processes all the applications and gathers all the necessary evidence to verify their claims. Currently, I give out one gift each month to the person who I feel is most deserving. But times are tough. And over the last couple of years, donations have dwindled significantly while our group membership has grown and grown. For the price of a McDonald's meal deal, just $5 and some change, you will be helping to make a huge difference in someone's life. Please remember that in most cases, there are very small children involved. So go to helpstpete.org, click donate on the homepage, then enter an amount that you can easily afford. I suggest $5. Click on the box that will add a little bit more to cover the PayPal fee, then click the box that will make it a recurring monthly donation. You can donate through PayPal that way or even with your own debit card. Every gift you make is tax deductible. You'll receive a receipt in your email from PayPal. No salaries are paid. I volunteer to do this. All of our charity business expenses are paid through the fees we collect from our advertising partners, but every penny that you donate goes to help someone right here in our own community. So take a minute, go to the website, and make it happen. You'll be doing your part to help me continue this great work.